Howdy, howdy, folks. It's the Bible Guy coming at you live from Texas. Was just feeling a little bit bored, and I thought, what the hell? Why not go live for just a little bit? For the person in the comments asking, believe in the Bible for what? As a book or as the Word of God? The question is it actually God's Word? I don't think it is. All right. Looks like we already got a guest. Stalin Cradgold. Stalin, I'm going to ask you the same three questions I ask every single guest, irrespective of who they are. You can make fun of my weight all you want, but it just demonstrates that you don't have an actual point to anything you believe. So question number one, are you at least 18 years old?
C.
Question number two, are you a Bible believer?
C.
And then question number three, what are your pronouns?
He, him.
All right. Stalin, he, him. I'm Dalton, the Bible Guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Why should I believe in the Bible?
Because you're fat.
Do you think that's a very Christian way of acting? Do you think you're setting a good example for you and your ilk? Doesn't Jesus say you shall know them by their Doesn't Jesus say you should know them by their fruits? And if so, you seem to be producing some very rotten.
Why shouldn't I go to the gym?
Yeah, I think you need I think you're a child. You're very insecure about your own personal beliefs, so you have to attack someone else's physical appearance. I get it.
Fatty.
Listen, if I were you too, if I had no good points to make sure, I would lash out at someone just because of the way they look, because you are like, at least I maybe
You're
there's something there might be something physically wrong with me, but at least there's not something mentally wrong with me as such as you. I mean, you're an absolute fucking child, and you're embarrassing yourself right now in front of my audience, and you're demonstrating to them that you actually. And I'm good. Like, I can't wait for it to upload this on YouTube. But it just demonstrates
fat and stupid
that you actually don't have any good points to bring to the discussion, and you're an absolute fucking child. And it's honestly embarrassing that you would come up here and make fun of the way that someone looks, being a quote unquote Bible believer. But maybe he was just lying. Maybe he's just an absolute fucking troll who couldn't handle a grown-up conversation. Oh, well. What are you going to do? Anyways. Everyone, make sure to tap that screen. Share the live with those you love, with those you hate, with your friends, and with your enemies. Let's get the word out so we can have some interesting conversations about whether or not I, the Bible Guy, should believe in the Bible. Remember, adults only. Don't come up here acting like an absolute child. It's embarrassing. Like, yeah, I get it. I'm a little bit chubby. I get it. I'm completely fine with that. Michael Zayakas? Michael, I'm going to ask you the same questions I ask every single one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number one, are you at least 18 years old?
I'm 36.
Question number two, are you a Bible believer?
Yes.
And question number three, what pronouns do you go by?
What do you mean pronouns?
Pronouns are words that replace nouns in sentences in order to avoid repetition. Like, for example, he, him, she, her, they, them.
Yeah, I'm a he.
All right, Michael, he, him. I'm Dalton, the Bible Guy. I do not believe in the Bible. Michael, why should I believe in the Bible?
Well, you made a claim that you don't believe, so can you tell me why you don't believe?
Yeah, I don't believe in the Bible because it has historical and scientific errors and contradictions, and Jesus didn't fulfill a single messianic prophecy.
Okay, what do you believe in?
Anything which can be demonstrated through evidence.
Okay, so
But
you only
are we here
believe.
to talk about what it is that I do believe, or are we here to talk about why I should believe in the Bible?
No, I'm just trying to have a good faith conversation. I'm just trying to understand you.
Sure. Here's all you need to understand me. I don't believe in your holy book, and so my question to you is, why should I?
Because maybe you would have like a better sense of morality.
I don't think you want to go down the morality trail, bud, because I think if we really get down to the nitty gritty of it, we're gonna see that you're willing to do things for your God that I don't think anyone in their right mind would call moral.
Okay, cool. Let me ask you a quick question. What are your gender pronouns?
He, him.
He, him? Oh, nice.
Yeah. So,
Um,
Michael, if
yes.
y'all, if you were living, let's say, 3,500 years ago, during the time of Joshua and the Israelites, and you were living amongst the Israelites as an Israelite, and you've just received word that, actually, no, sorry, not 3,500 years ago, and not Joshua, my bad, 3,000 years ago during the time of King Saul, and you've received word from the prophet Nathaniel or Nathan that it is your job to go into and kill the Amalekites, the men, the women, the children, and the infants. Would you do it?
Who am I?
You're an Israelite. And you've been told
Okay.
by the prophet Nathan that Yahweh has declared, as we read in 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 3, that you are to go in and kill the Amalekites, the men, the women, the children, and the sucklings. So we're talking about like babies at the very breast. You were supposed to kill them. Do you do it?
I don't really know. I don't know how
You
to
don't
answer
know?
that. No.
I mean, do you think Yahweh did command that?
Do you have the verse?
1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 3. So let's take a look at the
Let's read
word.
it.
Yeah. I'll start from verse 1, just so that no one in the comment section makes the claim that, they start bitching about context. All right. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 1. Sorry, not Nathan, it was Samuel. Samuel said to Saul, Yahweh sent me to anoint you king over his people Israel. Now, therefore, listen to the words of Yahweh. Thus says Yahweh of hosts, I will punish the Amalekites for what they did in opposing the Israelites when they came out of Egypt. Now go and attack Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have. Do not spare them, but kill both man and woman, child and infant, ox and sheep, camel and donkey. So, you're an Israelite. You're part of Saul's army. The prophet Samuel has declared that it is your divinely ordained duty to go into the Amalekites and wipe them all out, including the babies. You doing it?
Right. Um, I don't know, but I'm gonna say I'm leaning more towards yes.
So, do you really have any place to sit here and talk about like who is more or less moral because you are willing to kill babies if Yahweh says so?
Now, let me define the whole belief of Christianity, right? So,
You're going to
because
make the
I think
claim
actually,
that that was the Old Testament and now we're under the new covenant, so it doesn't
not
fit.
at all, not even close. Nothing to do with that, actually.
All right? Hit me.
What I'm going to say is that Christianity teaches eternal life. So,
Yeah, I don't care about that.
wait, what? You don't care, but let me finish my point before you interrupt. I'm not done speaking. So,
You're going to make the claim
the-
that, well, it doesn't matter that the Israelites murdered all those babies because those babies ended up in heaven anyways, right?
well, no, that wasn't the claim I was going to make, but thank you for assuming.
All
But
right, so tell me what the relevance is for answering like morality in relation to like
well,
Christianity
so the
says it
relevance
offers you
is
eternal
this:
life.
the God is all knowing and all good, right? So,
No,
so if he
neither all
if
knowing nor all good according to the Hebrew Bible.
and also the Bible teaches eternal life. So you might
Some
die,
parts.
your body might die, but you'll still your spirit will be alive.
Yeah, some parts of the Bible
So,
teach eternal life. Other parts teach that when you die, that's it.
which
And
part?
anyways, it doesn't matter what the New Testament teaches because Jesus wasn't the Messiah. He didn't fulfill a single messianic prophecy.
What do you mean by that? I don't understand what that means, to be honest.
So messianic prophecies are prophecies which were given in the Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament, by the prophets, saying that one day the Messiah will come and he'll do X, Y, and Z. Jesus didn't fulfill a single prophecy from the Old Testament about the Messiah. He probably wasn't the Messiah. We have no good reason to think he was the Messiah. So any teachings that he teaches are kind of irrelevant. And you would kill babies if Yahweh said so.
Yeah, no, I actually explained to you that, we have eternal life. So,
So
um,
that excuses you to kill babies?
it doesn't excuse me because I wouldn't have to do that today. So, it's
Except
not
for
about like,
if Yahweh told you to, you would do it, right?
yeah, but
If you heard
if we
a
can
voice in
put
your head
like,
saying that it was the Lord God himself and that you should go and do as the Israelites did to the Amalekites, you would do it, right?
I don't think this applies to me directly though. So, it's just an odd
But
question to ask me.
it's not really odd because it wouldn't be the first time Yahweh's commanded a man to try to kill somebody, wouldn't it?
Sorry?
Wouldn't be the first time that Yahweh commanded someone to kill someone else, would it?
When was the other time?
Abraham? Or literally the entirety of Joshua's conquest on the Canaanites?
Right. So, if you don't mind, let me ask you a question. Did you read the Bible
Front to back.
so that you could debunk it, or what was your purpose reading it, or were you
I
forced
was a
into it?
believer.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and I ceased to believe in the New Testament once I realized that Jesus could not possibly have been the Messiah. And I ceased to believe in the Hebrew Bible when I saw that it plagiarized a lot of other pre biblical works and that it was obviously fictitious and contradicted history as well.
So you were a believer through childhood, or like some like what made you believe at the time?
I was at one point raised in it, although I would later go on to make a conscious decision to follow it when I was in my teen years. And then I studied the Bible in depth, and studying the Bible made me into an atheist.
Oh, you got into it more, and then you found contradictions. Is that what you're saying?
Contradictions, historical and scientific errors, and that's why the old saying goes that the greatest tool for turning people into atheists is the Bible.
Yeah, yeah. I see. I see. So it wasn't an event that turned you away from it?
No, I quite enjoyed my time in church.
Right. How many years has it been since then?
Since the last time I went to church, it's probably been a couple years.
Okay. So would you say like now you're
I'm sorry. When
totally.
did this turn into an interview of the Bible guy? I'm starting to miss the point where you are convincing me that the Bible is true.
No, no, I'm just
I'm
trying to
sure
understand
I'm
this
sure
one.
my audience is tired of hearing my backstory, so they've heard it a billion times. So tell me, do you have any good reasons for why I should believe in the Bible?
Yeah, like because there's no like for me, I think like if it is true, you have nothing to lose
Not
and
true.
everything to. How's that?
Well, sure, if it's true, but you haven't yet given me a good reason to think it is true. Like, why should I think Christianity is true over, let's say, another religion like Judaism? What if it turns out Judaism is true and that by if I became a Christian and started worshiping your Jesus, I would be worshiping a man as if he were God and thus would be guilty of idolatry and would end up in Gehenna?
So the two biggest religions are Christianity and then Islam,
Islam.
right?
Sure.
Right. And then if you read the Quran and the Bible,
They're pretty
um,
much the same.
I wouldn't say that, there's way more historic evidence for the existence of Jesus?
Mm, well, not really. There's not all that great evidence for the existence of Jesus. We have very little. Unlike, I mean, at least when it comes to like the Quran, we have that's the actual writings of Muhammad. We don't have anything written by Jesus, do we?
Yeah, but isn't it just one person saying that, God gave me this prophecy, or for the
Yeah,
Quran?
it's no different than Paul. Both Paul and Muhammad both received visions where they were met with celestial beings. Muhammad seeing Gabriel and Paul seeing Jesus, and each of them receiving some sort of revelation and message, and being the founders of their particular religions. They're not really all that different in my eyes.
I would say most historians, well-known historians, agree about the existence of Jesus.
Oh, I mean, I agree Jesus existed. It's just not just the claim that his existence is more like there's a common Christian claim that Jesus's existence is more best attested to than any other person in ancient history, and that's 100% absolute bunk. It's not true.
Yeah, so you agree that Jesus existed, but you don't think he was God? Is that what
He
you're
wasn't
saying?
he wasn't God, he wasn't the Son of God, and he wasn't even the Messiah.
Okay, well, yeah, I don't really know, but I just think there's enough evidence. The reason I believe there's enough historic evidence to back up the existence of Jesus.
I don't care about
Uh,
that. I already agree that Jesus existed. He just wasn't anything that the Bible claims that he was. Like, why should I
yeah,
think Jesus was the Messiah?
well, anything in history that we learn, we get from eyewitness testimonies, right?
Sure. Do we have any eyewitness testimonies to the life of Jesus? And before you say the Gospels, we actually don't know who wrote them. They're not eyewitness testimonies.
What do you mean we don't know who wrote them? Are
As
they not
in,
named after the people?
they're named after people at a much later time. Those names are ascribed to the Gospels. But if you look at, for example, our oldest manuscript of the Gospel of Matthew from Papyrus 1, it doesn't even have a title, nor does the text itself ever claim to be the work of an eyewitness. Luke, the author of Luke, claims to get his information from eyewitnesses, though he never names them. So we don't even know if the people he's actually citing are actual eyewitnesses or just people who are telling him stories about Jesus. The author of Mark never claims to be an eyewitness, and and John is a book claimed to be written by multiple people, and they claiming that they received the witness of the beloved disciple, but they don't really name him, and we don't even know if this is really true. The Gospels would not be accepted in a court of law.
Right, the Gospels wouldn't be. What about all the other like major historic like, I don't know. I just feel like that's how we get all our information. Like, how's that any different?
At least when it comes to Josephus' writings, like Josephus was an actual his first century historian, and we know that he wrote what he wrote because he writes an autobiography about himself. Jesus never did no such thing. And he cites his sources, like for example, when he starts talking about like King Herod the Great, he tells us that he gets his information from Nicholas of Damascus, who was part of Herod's court. We have standards in history, and the Gospels don't read like historical works; they read like myth.
Right, right. Anyways, that was kind of my main point, but I do appreciate your time, brother, and have a good one.
You too,
Take
Michael. Have a
care.
good night.
All right, bye bye.
All right, everyone, make sure you tap that screen. Tap the screen like Jonathan wanted to tap King David. I'm going to bring up a friend to co-host with me. Now, we're going to talk to Excessive Wizard. Excessive Wizard. I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask every single one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, sir.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Yes, sir.
Question number 3, what are your pronouns?
I'm a dude.
So your pronouns are...
Man.
That's not a pronoun, that's a gender. So what are your pronouns?
Wait. Whoa. I'm a man. That.
Okay, that's cool that you told me your gender, so now tell me your pronouns.
Big dick.
So, Excess, if you can't even answer this question, Do I really want to talk to you? Probably
If I'm a
not.
man, then
So I
there's very clear
doesn't
what my
I,
pronouns are, aren't
no,
there?
we don't do no assuming. You know what they say about making assumptions makes an ass out of you.
He,
So
him. Does that make you feel
there,
good?
there
Does
you
that make you
go.
feel good?
We got there eventually. Oh, so excessive.
All
He,
right, what's
him.
up,
I'm
brother?
Dalton, the Bible guy. I don't believe in the Bible. Excessive. Why should I believe in the Bible?
Why should you believe the Bible? Well, brother, it takes faith, right?
Faith's pretty useless to me. You have faith that leads you to Jesus. Muslims have faith that leads them to Muhammad, and Jews have faith that leads them to Yahweh and Moses.
Yeah,
It seems
well,
like if faith can get you to the truth and to a falsehood, then it seems like faith is no better than flipping a coin. I would like a mechanism that actually gets me to the truth. You got one of those?
so, well, are you arguing through the atheist guys, or are you arguing through another religious guy?
I'm an atheist.
All right, so let's stick to that. Let's not bring up other religions because it's kind of pointless.
I mean, no, I mean, if you're gonna make the claim that's about faith, I'm gonna show you that you wouldn't accept that argument from any other religious person. So if you wouldn't accept an argument from a Muslim, don't use that argument from me.
No, well, Muslims are very easily discarded.
And so are Christians.
No, because of the pure fact that Muslims disregard the fact that Christ was crucified. That is a proven fact. We know that. It has existed in history.
Okay, and Jesus didn't fulfill a single messianic prophecy. Therefore, Christianity is as easily disposable as
What
Islam.
prophecy did not Christianity prophesy?
I think you. No, what I said was that Jesus didn't fulfill a single messianic prophecy. Do you know what messianic prophecy is?
Messianic prophecy? Yeah. All
They are
things that
prophecy.
Christ.
Yeah, prophecies about the Messiah and the Old Testament. Jesus didn't fulfill a single one of them.
Like what?
Like bringing peace to the earth, like gathering in the Jewish people from the four corners of the world and bringing them back to the Holy Land, like building the
Didn't
temple.
build a third temple.
Yeah, he didn't do any of those things. Can you think of a single messianic prophecy that Jesus actually did fulfill?
Not the
Clickety
clackety
clackety,
boy.
clickety clackety.
So, birth in Bethlehem.
Hebrew Bible doesn't prophesy the Messiah will be born in Bethlehem.
Yes, it does.
No, Micah 5:2 doesn't say anything about the Messiah being born in Bethlehem. Thank you for the shades.
No, he does.
So the word born is used in Micah 5:2?
Key prophetic passage in Isaiah 53.
Whoa,
which
whoa, whoa,
describes
whoa, 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 whoa. We're not
suffering
moving.
servant who
No,
was
no, no,
filled
no, no,
before
no,
the
no,
sins
no,
of
no.
others.
We're not. Hey,
Christian
hey, we're not moving on. We're not moving on. We're staying on Micah 5:2. You made a claim. The Hebrew Bible prophesies Messiah will be born in Bethlehem. I would like for you to show us where in Micah 5:2 it says the Messiah will be born in Bethlehem. Because I'm looking at the words right now. Don't see the word for born anywhere in the text. Excessive. Here, I'll go
Forgive
ahead.
me. Forgive me.
But you, O Bethlehem Ephrathah, who are little to be among the clans of Judah, from you shall come forth for me one who is to be ruler in Israel. Jesus was never ruler in Israel, whose origin is from of old, from ancient days. Yeah, it says that this individual has an origin in ancient days, and his origin is as of Bethlehem. It doesn't say that he'd be born there, though.
So, yeah, it states that. But as for you, Bethlehem Ephrathah, too little to be among the clans of Judah, from one will go forth for me to be the ruler in Israel.
Yeah, was Jesus ever a ruler in Israel?
Yeah.
No. Jesus never sat on a throne in Israel and never commanded legions.
Oh, so you're very figurative. That's how you're going to describe.
No, I take the not figurative. I take the text for what it plainly says. You're trying to make it figurative, like he's not a literal ruler in Israel. He's some sort of metaphorical ruler in Israel. No, Jesus never ruled from Israel, and also, I mean, again, the text doesn't say that his Messiah will be born in Bethlehem, just that his origins are in Bethlehem, meaning He's a descendant of King David, which we can't verify for Jesus.
Well, I can already tell you're struggling because you're trying to define things by man's law with God.
I'm not thinking about any kind of law. I'm just looking at
No,
the words
you
on
are,
the page.
'cause you said
I'm
he
thinking
sat
about
on
what
the
the
throne.
words. I'm thinking about what the words on the page say. Yeah, every king of
Jesus also
Israel.
never sat on a throne.
Yeah, every king of Israel historically sat on a throne, and they ruled over the people of Israel, and they made rules and legislations for the people of Israel to follow. Jesus never did any of those things.
And
If you're
many
just gonna
other
say-
false kings have also sought and sat in thrones that they did not belong in.
In northern Israel, perhaps, but not in Judah. The kings of Judah were appointed. That lineage was appointed by God.
Have you read the Book of Kings?
Yes.
Both of them.
So, what happens in the Book of Kings?
In the book of Kings, we are reading the story about Solomon and his
Don't
his
do that.
success.
You don't
King
read
David, King
paragraphs since you
Solomon,
want
and
to talk about tippy
I'm-
tappy.
What
is the common
I've got
theme?
Micah 5 up on the board, bud. Chill out.
Oh, that's
It's
cool. You
about
got
King
Micah 5.
David, King
No.
Solomon, and their successors.
No,
Now,
don't,
tell me,
don't
when did
paraphrase.
I know
what
you're
is the common theme of Kings?
that the kings of Israel are, some of them are sinners and some of them are righteous.
What is the common theme of Kings? You're missing it.
Am I? What's the common theme then?
No. You tell me. Since you got it all up in front of you, you already know it all.
I never claim to know everything. I just know that
Yeah.
Jesus never
Well,
ruled as a king in
see,
Israel.
No, or you're like, oh, you're tippy tappy. Yeah.
When was
Sorry,
so
I checked my
King
corners.
David sat on a throne and he was also anointed as king of Israel and
Yes,
he
he
ruled
was.
from Israel.
Uh-huh.
Did Jesus ever do any of those things? I don't remember reading about that in the history book.
But he did lead people in Israel, did he not?
No, I mean he had disciples, but he was never a king.
Oh!
He was a rabbi.
There it is.
Rabbis are not kings. You know those are different things. Excessive. There were many rabbis in Israel. None of them were kings.
Oh, so you think just because he didn't sit in a throne,
Yes.
he wasn't a king?
Yeah, just in the same way that David
Oh.
wasn't a king in Israel until he took the throne.
Which is funny because if he did go and sit in a king's chair, then y'all would make a whole nother argument that he was an oppressive king. But y'all always
Well, no, I would say that at least he fulfilled the prophecy that he was a ruler in Israel.
No, he did because he proved that he was a king because he had many people following him without ever showing it.
Rabbis,
except
Okay,
rabbis
okay,
also
so
rabbis
question.
also had followers, so this is not really pertinent.
I was about to
him
say we
being
could
a
apply
king.
this to modern day logic. There are many people who follow people who are preachers. Are those preachers kings?
Are
Yeah,
those
was-
people
was-
still
was-
follow
was-
2,000
was-
years later?
Was the Rabbi Menachem Mendel? Time doesn't matter, because people have been following Muhammad for how long now?
Not nearly as long. Muhammad did not come till 600
Yeah, because he
years
got his religion started at a later point, but ever since the religion started, people still have
1,500
been
years is
following
still a
him.
lot.
Now, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson
Well, then who's
was
following
the chief
the
the
pagan
chief
gods?
Rebbe of Lubavitch Jews, and they even call some of them even call him the Melech Mashiach, the King Messiah. Is he a king?
No, you kind of skipped over the pure fact of Christian nations and Muslim nations.
Yeah,
and who else exists?
Christian
Buddhist
nation.
nations,
None of those
Hindu
Christian nations
nations.
were
Name a
ruled by
Buddhist
Jesus. They
nation.
were ruled by other
India,
kings.
China.
Oh, India. They're doing well.
Japan.
They're having a great time.
So
Yeah,
excessive.
yeah, they're the
Wait,
fastest
whoa,
growing
Yeah,
economy.
excessive.
Whoa,
Stop.
whoa.
You're giving us on a
Yeah,
red
India's
herring.
not Buddhist.
You're giving us on a red herring here.
The most followed religion in Japan,
India's
China,
not
and
Buddhist.
Korea
I-
is
I need
Buddhist.
you- Yeah, well, you don't know much about India then, because it's both Hindu and Buddhist. I mean,
Yeah,
literally the
Buddhism
Buddha was
started
from
in
India.
Buddhism started in India,
Yeah,
and it's the
so-
second most followed religion in India, and right next to Hinduism.
Now, excessive.
Yeah,
the amount
they're
of
doing
time, the amount of time that a religion has been around tells me nothing about its validity, because Hinduism's older than Christianity. Now, do we have any good reason to think that Jesus was actually a ruler in Israel? Because he wasn't, as far as I can tell. He was a rabbi.
Yeah, he turned the entire country up on his head peacefully
No, he didn't.
by just pure existence.
No, he didn't.
because
First I've
Rome,
done that.
Jesus was a marginal Jew. He probably wasn't very popular. in
the
first
Roman
century.
Caesar didn't even know about Jesus, and that's who was in charge of Judah.
When did Caesar exist?
Same time as Jesus.
First century CE. We have
Who
actual like
was
coins
ruling
bearing his inscription.
that area at the time?
Caesar Augustus.
Or Quirinius
And
was,
by the way, after Jesus
but-
died, how fast did he spread to other countries?
It took about How long did it take to other
400
countries or other
years?
nations? So we know that the
400
Apostle
before
Paul.
Rome.
I think about
even
15
acknowledged them.
years. 15 years is when we start seeing evangelists start taking the gospel outside of the land of Israel.
But you don't get your
Namely
first
Paul.
Christian nation until the Roman Empire adopts it, which
Cor-
is not even until the 5th century.
Correct. So
And they did that on a
excess.
whim.
So excess. Clearly, Jesus wasn't a ruler in Israel, and we also can't verify that he's actually a descendant of King David. So, do you got a better messianic prophecy for us that he may have actually fulfilled?
Yeah, he fulfilled all of them. And
Could you
the
point
fact
me
that
one?
At their temple?
man, can you shut the fuck up and let me fucking answer?
Oh, spicy, excessive. You can just say he fulfilled all of them. That doesn't mean anything to me. So point me
Buddy,
to if
every
there's
time
so
I
many
try to
prophecies
address
that Jesus
you-
fulfilled. Shut up. Anyways, yeah, she's my co-host and she gets to
Every time
talk
I try
to
to
me. So,
address your
anyways,
fat
anyway. Oh, look at that, everybody! I'm a fat ass
Y'all wouldn't let
now.
me speak. You keep cutting me
I'm a
Follow
off.
fa-
Jesus.
Hey, guess
follow
what?
Jesus.
You shall know them by your. You think you're being a good example for Christ?
Have you ever
You
heard
think
of
he
the
would
fucking
appreciate?
Crusades? Yeah, we need to start fucking cutting you all
Do you
off.
think he would appreciate you calling people fat asses? I mean, wouldn't you know them by their fruits? You should be a bit
Wait.
angry, which is not one of the fruits
You-
of the spirit.
The fruits
I
is
have-
hanging off your fucking love handles, brother.
Hey, excessive. I have something to say to you.
What, bitch?
Depart from me, for I never knew you.
Yeah, depart from me,
Depart from me, asshole.
man. Look at that guy. That guy was manifesting demonics, whatever. That's what they usually say.
What demonic
Hey-
spirit are we going to go with for that one?
I don't know.
Beelzebub?
The demonic spirit of insecurities. Yeah. All right, we got Ashley Music. Ashley Music. Yeah, that's gonna make a great clip for later. Ashley Music. I'm gonna ask you the same 3 questions that I ask every single individual guest, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
Question number 2: are you a Bible believer?
No, sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, but we're only taking opposition Bible believers at the moment.
I
But
had a question though.
here, I'll let you ask your question real quick.
Okay, if you don't want to answer it, just jump to the next person. And my pronouns are she, her. So I heard you guys talking, I think you may not have been there that time, but I'm sure you know about this, about how it's okay to, God basically condones slavery, right?
Yeah.
It seems like there was more resistance to slavery if it was a fellow Hebrew.
Yeah, God doesn't want the Israelites to treat their fellow Israelites as harshly as they would like Gentile slaves.
So I was reading the verse that was being quoted in Exodus 21, 20,
20 through
20 or
21. That you can beat your slaves as long as they don't die in 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, which is awful. We agree. But just by chance, I was like, oh, I wonder what else is in here. Haven't opened the Bible in a long time. And I ran into, on the other side of the page, 22 or 3, 4, where it says, basically, if there's a foreigner, you have to treat them well. I'm trying to find it. I lost it. Oh, do not mistreat an alien or oppress him. You are aliens in Egypt. So
Yeah,
I don't think that a
that's a-
contradiction means
Yeah, that's
you
just
should
for-
believe the Bible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just a free man. Like a free man. You're like, if you have a free man who abides in the land, then they have to observe the same laws that you observe, and you're supposed to treat them well. They're not under the category, they're not a slave. So they're to be treated well.
Okay. That's pretty much it. I'll let you continue talking to believers.
Absolutely. Have a good night, Ashley.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, we're going to bring up the next guest. We got Byron Bennett. Byron, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask every single one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Yes.
Question number 3, what are your pronouns?
I mean, what? I mean, Can we just get to the? I mean, the debate. I'm trying to figure out what your debate
Yeah,
is.
you got to answer all three of these questions before we can have the debate. So, what are your pronouns?
What is your pronouns?
He, him. My
Like,
pronouns are he, him. What are yours?
I mean,
See how easy that was?
I
So, what are yours?
same.
What was that?
Yeah, same. He, him.
He, him. All right, Byron. He, him. I'm
Not
Dalton, the Bible guy.
yeah.
I don't believe in the Bible. Byron, why should I believe in the Bible?
Okay. Um, I mean, I've had this debate with a lot of people, but I'll put it this way. This is as simple as possible. I guess your take on it is you don't believe in the Bible because you have you found some contradictions per se is what you're saying. The reason why
That's part of it. Contradictions, historical and scientific errors, and also Jesus didn't fulfill a single messianic prophecy.
Gotcha. So what version of the Bible do you read in?
I read the Aleppo Codex for the Old Testament, and for the New Testament, I try to get. I would go with the Codex Vaticanus, probably. In other words, the original Greek and Hebrew manuscripts.
Gotcha.
Now, if I'm going to read an English translation, like for ease of convenience or like talking to a guest or whatever, I'll probably go with the New Revised Standard Version, Updated Edition, or the New Jewish Publication Society translations.
So why not the King James version?
That was a shit translation.
It was the closest to how it was in Jesus' day.
No, they absolutely butchered the Hebrew Bible. Would you like an example?
I mean, sure, but I mean, I don't really. That's not the point that I'm trying to argue about right now.
I mean, you think it's a good translation, but it simply isn't.
I think it's
not even a translation,
I think there are hundreds of translations that.
Yeah, I go to the original Hebrew.
Okay, give me an example of what you want to point out for a second.
Sure. Let me grab my King James Version Bible here, and if I turn to the book,
so you read in the King James Version?
I have a King James Version. I don't read it. This is an old Bible from back when I was a Christian because I don't trust the King James Bible to tell me what the Bible actually says. Therefore, Isaiah chapter 7, verse 14, therefore the Lord himself shall give to you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. Well, two big fat problems here. Problem number one is that in the original Hebrew, it doesn't say anything about a virgin. Problem number two, it doesn't say that she shall become pregnant or she shall conceive, but it says that she is pregnant, as in when Isaiah gave this declaration, she was already pregnant.
Oh, man. I mean, I wish I had a lot of time because I feel like do you read the Bible to debunk it or do you read the Bible to understand it?
To understand it is my primary reason to read the Bible is to understand it, and generally as a byproduct, it usually comes about with debunking it because I know it so well.
Gotcha. So if you like, I heard you talking to the person before. Mm-hmm. You mentioned the scripture about the slaves.
Yeah. How do you feel about slavery?
Do you know what do you know what the word slave means in the Bible?
In the Hebrew, it's eved, and it means a slave, like someone that you own as property, and you can at least if they're a Gentile, you can pass them on to your descendants after you.
Are you in agreement that the term slave that you're using is in a negative way?
Yeah, I would say it's pretty negative to own someone as property, which is how Exodus 21 describes slavery.
But God owns us, so is he negative?
Well, yes, he would. That would be negative if he owned me as property. But also, I don't think that God actually owns anybody because God doesn't exist.
Gotcha. So let me put it this way: basically, slave and slavery in the Hebrew language doesn't mean that.
What's the Hebrew word for slave again?
Negative tense.
What's the Hebrew word for slave?
The Hebrew word for slave is servant. Do you know what the Hebrew word is?
No.
Do you know
what were?
No. But I'm asking,
Byron. Okay, what is the Hebrew word for slave?
I can't remember the word. I don't have my notes, but
it's the Hebrew word. Eved.
And I agree with you.
And guess what?
I'm not disagreeing.
And here's my next question to you, just to test it. In Egypt, were the Israelites slaves or servants of Pharaoh?
Servants.
They were servants. They weren't slaves.
They were servants. They were servants.
So the Israelites.
I think you're being.
That goes back.
I think you're being a bit of a clown right now, Byron. Could they
Listen,
go?
Listen, that goes back to what I was saying. In the scripture, it says they were slaves.
Byron.
It says they were slaves.
Okay, they were slaves.
Oh, goodness.
Is the word used to describe the Israelites?
I'm agreeing with what you're saying. You're missing what I'm saying. They were slaves, yes.
Okay,
but the definition of slaves isn't what you think it is.
Yeah, so the Hebrew Bible tells me that you can own that the slaves are your property, and you can beat them so long as they don't die within 2 or 3 days, and you can pass them on to your children as an inheritance. Tell me, where am I misunderstanding the text?
Yeah, which version is that in?
You cut out.
Which version is that in?
The Hebrew.
Is that in the King James version?
All of them. That's in every version.
All of them.
Oh no! Can you read that? Can you read that scripture in the King James version for me, please?
Sure, I'll read it to you in the King James version, even though it's a shit translation.
I mean, why? Why is it?
Actually, let me take that back. Let me take that back because the King James version is not a translation; it's just a revision of the Bishop's Bible. So I'm not even grant it the privilege of being called a translation. Exodus chapter 21, verses 20 through 21. And if a man smite his servant or his maid with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall be surely punished. Notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money. You think that's good? You think you're allowed to beat your servants so long as they don't die in 2 or 3 days?
So you just disregard what the rest of the scripture said. That's basically what
No, I acknowledge that the Bible says that you're not allowed to instantly kill them.
You acknowledge
but if
the
you
one
beat
part of the
them and they
scripture.
survive for 2 or 3 days, then it's fine, isn't it?
Don't you? Do you have children?
Byron, no, I don't have children. Byron, and also Byron, I wouldn't beat my kids because that's abuse. Now, Byron.
Well, I would punish my kids for doing wrong.
I would punish my kids. I wouldn't beat them.
It doesn't have to be beating them to death.
Byron.
So if you spank your child,
Byron,
and
it describes
die,
that the Byron. No,
Like,
it
that's-
describes the severity.
What?
I'm muting you. It describes the severity of the beating that the slave owner gives to his slave. That if he survives a day or two, which means if he recovers after 2 days, then you won't get punished. This is a beating which is so bad that it might take him 1 or 2 days to recover from it. That's not okay. And if you do that to your kids, you deserve to get your fucking kids taken away from you. Byron, would you allow someone to own you under the conditions of slavery in the Bible?
I think you're assuming.
Byron, I didn't assume. I asked you a question. Would you be okay with someone owning you in the same manner that the slaves in the Bible are owned? That they can beat you so long as you don't die in 2 or 3 days, and that you can be passed on to their kids as an inheritance. Do you think that you would be okay with that?
I mean, I think if we're asking questions like that, I should be allowed to ask you questions like that. Like,
No,
I'm
you should
pretty
be
sure
allowed
you
to.
wouldn't.
You're allowed to
I'm pretty
answer
sure
my.
this entire
You're allowed to
I'm pretty
answer
sure
my.
you-
You're allowed to answer my question.
I wouldn't, but I'm pretty sure you wouldn't either.
Yeah, because it's fucking terrible, and I wouldn't be okay with the slavery of the Bible.
And so again, that goes back to what I was saying before. The word slavery doesn't mean.
Wait,
what you
Byron,
think
I have
it
a
is.
question.
Okay. Yes.
If you had so much debt, would you sell yourself to pay off that debt?
Would I sell myself to pay off? It depends on what the debt is.
If you had over $500,000 in debt and the interest rate was astronomical, would you sell yourself to get out of the debt?
No, I would work to pay it off.
This is why it's banned in today's world too. It is banned. You can't be a debt slave anymore in today's world. Because of that, we can look back on this and be like, even in indentured servitude back then, it's illegal now, so it should have been illegal then.
Yeah.
I
The
get what
slavery
you're
of the
saying.
Bible
You can't sell
is.
yourself anymore. That is
And let's
slavery.
And let's try not to
period.
whitewash the language of the Bible. They're not mere servants. The Hebrew word is eved, and eved means a slave. It's the same word used to describe the Beit Avodim, the house of bondage that the children of Israel were under in Egypt. So let's not whitewash it as if it's some nicety. It's
But
not.
let's not put words in the Bible that's not in there though.
I didn't put
Like
words in the Bible that aren't there.
I'm reading the definitions of these things, and then you just
Byron,
like,
I
kinda
speak
disregard
Hebrew.
it.
Byron, I read Hebrew. I
get
know what
you're
the text
saying, but
says.
you're
And it says that you're
mentioning
allowed
the
to
word.
beat your slaves so long as they don't die in 2 or 3 days. Yes or no?
That's not what the King James version. That's not what
I
you
don't.
just
I
read in
don't
the
give
King
a.
James
I don't,
version.
Byron. I don't give a fuck what the King James version says. It's a
How are you
horrible
gonna
Bible.
How are you
Like
gonna
as I
disregard
it,
just
like, no, yeah,
that's
you
what
should absolutely disregard the King James
you know
Bible
what I
because
do when I
it's a
read.
shit. I would. The best thing that the King James Bible can offer you probably is good toilet paper, perhaps. It's not a good It's not a translation. It's not a good version of the Bible. It's an inaccurate to the original languages of the Bible.
So then you would be saying that all other translations are inaccurate.
Oh no! I have a couple here of the New Revised Standard Version updated edition. Is it perfect? No, but it's a hell of a lot more accurate to the original Hebrew than the King James Version Bible.
Gotcha. Okay, so listen, let me just wrap this up in a nutshell. So if you don't believe in the Bible, if you
Sure.
don't believe in Jesus, you don't. Well, actually, I'm not gonna say that because you did say you believed in Jesus, which is
When
kind
I
of
was
odd
younger.
because you
When I was younger, I don't anymore. I'm
you
an
said that. No,
atheist.
you just said that a few minutes ago. You said you believe that
No,
Jesus existed,
existed, yes, but
but
he
you
wasn't the
believe that he's
Messiah or
not.
this. He's not the Messiah, the Son of God, or God Himself,
Right, which doesn't make sense to me. But what I'm
because
saying
He
is
wasn't.
if the Bible and God was fictional,
Hmm.
if it didn't happen, none of this stuff happens, then we have nothing to lose. If it's not real.
That's not
So then
true.
why
If
don't you believe in Hinduism? Because Vishnu could like banish you
I'm
to
glad
the
I'm
seventh
glad
layer.
I'm glad you asked that. I'm glad you asked it because Christianity is faith. It's a faith-based religion, right?
well,
If it's a
only
faith
only
religion, it's not
only
a faith-based religion.
Protestantism believes in faith alone. But prior to the 1500s, Christianity didn't believe in
So you asked me
faith
why I
alone.
don't believe in all the other
Yeah,
religions.
Hinduism is what 8,000 years older than
If you
Christianity.
don't believe in what they believe in, I'm not gonna say most religions, but a lot of other religions, if you don't believe in what they believe in, what happens? There's consequences,
Sure.
right?
So I'm
For
just
Just like
Christianity,
there's consequences
yeah.
to Christianity, right?
Christianity
There's
isn't any
consequences
better.
in Christianity, right? Listen, hold on. There's consequences to the other religions here on earth.
And
If
in
you
the
don't
world
Not
to
all of
come,
them. Hinduism is
Christianity.
pretty
Byron,
much just do good.
Byron,
Listen,
if I
listen.
don't serve,
Let me
if no,
please let me
Byron,
finish making my point.
you're wrong. You're just wrong about other religions. If it turns out that Islam is true and I worship your Jesus as if he were God, then I'm going to burn forever in hell, according to Islam. If I don't become a good warrior and give proper praise to Odin and whatnot, then I'm going to freeze my ass off forever in Helheim. There
Well,
are
it
tons of,
depends. Odin's pretty merciful.
I think if you die of old age, you're more likely to end up in Helheim. So Byron, your religion isn't more likely to be true than any other religion. So this whole Pascal's wager thing of what else do you have to lose? I have a lot to lose if I become a Christian. First and foremost, and this is the most obvious, I'll lose my fucking Sunday mornings, wasting it going to church, listening to a preacher who doesn't know jack shit about the Bible. Then I had to lose my money if I tithe because guess what? I wouldn't half-ass it. I would go all in. And then I would lose my ability to think critically because I'd be forced to believe in bullshit without good reason. So yeah, there's a lot I would, or also the opportunities to hook up with people that for whatever reason Christianity has a huge problem what I do in the privacy of my bedroom with other consenting adults. So yeah, there's a lot to lose. You can unmute yourself.
I didn't know I was muted. I wasn't even talking. But anyways, the reason why I was saying that is because if we believe in these things and it's not true, then we have nothing to lose.
That's
But
not true. I
but
just
you're
told you
saying
what I had
you're
to
saying
lose.
but you're saying that if we don't believe in the other religions, what's the difference and stuff like that. Well,
I just told you that wasn't true, Byron. Were you even listening to me? I have a lot to lose if I believe in your. I have a lot to lose if I believe in your religion and it's not true.
Okay, listen. What I'm
Personally, hell time is a lot
I'm
scarier than fucking hell.
what I'm saying is, God gave everyone, including you,
No, he didn't.
something that has no control over, and that's the ability to choose. So if you choose,
God
if
didn't
you
give me
choose
the ability
not
to
believe,
choose.
if you choose not to
I
believe
don't
in the
choose,
Bible, then that's
Byron.
oh my
You
goodness,
you
bro.
you do not
Please let me finish.
you do not
Please let me
choose,
finish.
Byron. This
Even
is a
if
huge.
even if you don't agree with it, can you?
You do not choose your beliefs. I'm not going to let you go on a tirade when you say 5 or 6 or 7 different false things, and I'll get to like address each and every one of them. You don't choose what it is you believe. You are either convinced of a proposition, in which case you will believe, or you're not convinced of a proposition, in which case you won't believe. And I have no choice in that matter. If you presented me with good reasons to believe in Christianity, I would have no choice but to believe in it. And because the Bible and believers are yet to give me any good reason to believe in what they believe, I have no choice but to disbelieve in it. All right. Now you can make a different point because I don't choose my beliefs.
Can I finish my point, please?
Your point was built off of a fallacy.
Me without me even finishing.
Your whole point was built off of a fallacy.
You're saying I'm convinced to believe my religion. That's not the case.
No.
Even
for
if
me,
somebody told me about this, I would believe it.
no, you wouldn't. If you, Byron, that's stupid. That's not true. If you were on an island by yourself, had no contact with outside persons, and had no Bible, you wouldn't fucking be a Christian. You wouldn't even know about Jesus.
You know why I would believe it? Because I read stuff for myself. You know why? I read stuff for myself. Just like I do every day. You believe what they
I
taught
guarantee you, if you
school,
actually read, sure, if you're an ignorant person who just reads things and believes them, then sure. If you're by yourself and you have a Bible, you might be like duped into believing in things. But for the rest of us who, and by the way, you would be convinced by what you read and therefore believe. So again, you're not choosing to believe, you're being convinced based on what you're reading. But the rest of us who actually care about what's true, we think critically about what it is we read.
Well, let's use the word convinced. Let's use the word convinced. If I'm convinced that the Bible is real, then I'm going to go with that.
Sure, if you're convinced, then you have no choice but to believe it. But I'm not convinced, therefore I have no choice but to disbelieve, Byron.
Okay, and like I say, that's your ability to choose. You chose not. You chose not to
Byron.
believe.
Byron, were you fucking not listening? I didn't choose. I did not choose
You
to
were
disbelieve.
convinced not to believe.
Yeah, which happens against my will. I was presented with the Bible, found it lacking in evidence, and had no choice but to disbelieve it.
Okay, so if you're convinced that you don't believe in it, what if it's real then?
Well, then it's God's fault for not being convincing, and it balls in His court.
What?
Listen, I'm going to say it again. If your God doesn't like pick up the slack and give me reasons to believe in Him, then I'm not going to believe in it. It's His fault.
It's a lot of stuff in school that we were taught that we just were convinced to believe, and we believe it to this day.
Oh God, no!
Oh my God, 2 + 2 is 2 because I can demonstrate that.
I'm giving an example, but it's a lot of stuff that you have been taught in school that this is implanted in our minds.
Hey Byron, what shape is the Earth?
Yeah.
You think the Earth is flat?
It's a sphere.
Do you think it's
I mean,
flat?
I was asking a question.
Do you think it's
So
flat?
if you believe the world is a sphere, then what are we arguing about?
We
You
have
believe the
actual
same.
evidence of that.
You believe the same.
The thing is, Byron, that I don't just believe things because people told them to me. I actually corroborated that evidence by looking into them for myself.
You believe that the Bible is fiction because you.
Well, no,
read
I
it.
don't believe that because someone told me that. I believe that
because you're
because
debunking it.
I've actually done the research. I've
What
read
about
the
the
book for
research that they've
myself
done that,
in
that
the
it is
original
real?
language, which is why I know, for example, that the King James is a bad version of the Bible and why Jesus didn't fulfill a single messianic prophecy. Because I've actually read the damn book in the original languages.
Okay, well, I've had enough. Thanks, guys.
Have a good night, Byron.
That was becoming a circle.
Mm-hmm. Like the earth, according to Isaiah 40, verse 22.
Circle with a dome.
I'm going to talk to Hi. Hi. I'm going to ask you the same three questions I ask every single one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, I am.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Not really, but I can argue about it.
Okay, but we're only talking to Bible believers, but hi, thank you for coming up.
There is one thing that you need to know.
Nah. Anyways, we're going to talk to Jordan. Jordan, I'm going to ask you the same three questions I ask every single one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yep.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Yep.
Question number 3, what are your pronouns?
His Excellency or His Holiness.
Nope, those aren't pronouns. If you can't answer the question honestly, then I'm going to drop you. So,
okay, he, him, I guess.
There you go. Joshua, he, him. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. Also, he, him. I don't believe in the Bible. Jordan, why should I believe in the Bible?
Right. I think my perspective will be helpful for you. I wrote it down. So, when I read the Bible, okay, I read about a rich historical narrative and a literal golden city in the sky where we become immortal and there's no more suffering.
Yeah, it sounds like a myth.
Come back and raise the dead, right? So that's when I read the Bible, right? I hear about all this amazing stuff, and then I come on TikTok and I see you, right, saying that you know better than Jesus, and like you're more trustworthy, and I should listen to you instead of Jesus Christ, right?
Yeah, the dude couldn't even the dude couldn't even cite the Hebrew Bible correctly.
Right. And wait, but like, you think you're more appealing than Jesus, right? Like you think
I think I know. I think I know the Bible better than the Jesus of the Gospels. Now, whether or not I know the Bible better than the historical Jesus, that's another matter that we'll never be able to actually prove or disprove. But the Jesus of the Gospels, yeah, I know the Bible better than him because he misquotes it all the time.
Right. I mean, I just don't believe you, right? Like, why would I?
Tough nuts.
That's your opinion, right?
So tough nuts. But Jesus actually quotes Psalm 82 and says it's from the law. Why did he say that?
I don't know.
Sounds like he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. Or, more likely, the author's just putting things in Jesus' mouth. And he doesn't know. And he doesn't know better about what's actually in the Hebrew Bible. Why can't Jesus actually quote the Hebrew Bible correctly?
I mean, that's your claim, right? But again,
I can demonstrate
your
that.
claim is more convincing than the claims of the Bible. Really?
Yes.
Like you think I really should buy what you're selling here? Like, okay.
No, I think you should actually
Psalm 82, you said?
No, Psalm 82 is about Yahweh and the council of the gods. And he strips the gods of their power, makes them mortal because they were unjust. And Jesus says that it's from the law. It's not from the law.
Okay. So you're convinced there's a contradiction here. Your claim is that there's
tons of them.
There's a false statement by Jesus.
Well, it's more like a false statement by the author putting the words in Jesus's mouth. I don't think for a second verse? Jesus actually said any of the things.
Is it a New
there
Testament?
In the Gospel of John? Yeah, John chapter 10. Let me actually look at the actual passage. I think it's around the verse 34. Yes, Jesus answered them, "Is it not written in your law, I said you are gods?" Well, it's not written in the law. It's in the Psalms.
Right. So you're convinced that this is like a false quote.
Yeah.
Or this, what John is writing that Jesus said, allegedly John, you think John misquoted Jesus? Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Either he misquoted Jesus or Jesus just for some reason didn't realize that he's quoting the Psalms even in calling it the law.
So what would you call it? Like a false statement? What is it? A
Yeah,
misquote?
if Jesus really said this, then he was just wrong. It's not written in the law. I said you are gods. It's in the Psalms.
I just want to know how to refer to it. Like you're saying, this is an issue in the scripture. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're convinced because
Yeah,
you
I've
think,
read the entirety of the.
think
I've
it's
read
not
the,
in the law, right?
Yeah, I've
Okay,
read the whole law. This passage isn't there. It's from Psalm 82.
Right. Have you read any apologetics on this?
Yeah, no, I haven't read any apologetics on it. If you have an apologetic and you think you're able to give me a good reason to think that this text is from the law, nifty. But I've read the Torah. It's not in there.
Right. So, wait, you have read apologetics?
I haven't read any apologetics on John 10:34.
Not one.
Not a one.
And yet,
And
you are
yet,
convinced.
yeah, because I've read the
that-
law and I know that this passage isn't in the law of Moses. I don't spend my time reading the works of apologists because they're just car salesmen trying to sell me some like lemon. I can
Sounds like
read
you.
the Bible. I can read the Bible for myself.
Right. So the apologetics people,
Do you
they're
have-
all just
Do you
big-
have?
they're just
instead
big
of-
dummies looking for a buck.
Do you
but
do you
but
have
me, I'm
an
the real truth
do you
seeker.
have an apologetic for this text? Have you read the
No,
apologetics?
I
Ryan?
haven't. No, I've never looked at this. Right? I don't. I haven't looked at this exact verse. I know you guys get like a new updated script every week or something, but
I don't have a
I
script.
haven't gotten to this
I just actually
updated script of yours.
I don't have a script. I just know what the
Yeah.
hell I'm talking about.
Right. Well, it's always a different issue, right? You guys bring up a million different
Oh yeah,
verses,
there's
right?
I mean the
It's not
Bible is
updated, I
just
guess.
a
I
giant
didn't get
pile
the
of
email.
shit.
Right. Yeah, but you don't look at any apologetics
Why would I?
ever
Why would I?
to maybe like look at the other side of the argument.
I
yeah?
hear Christians give me their apologetics all day, every day. It's like I'm not going to spend my free time boring myself with the greasy car salesman of William Lane Craig or Lee Strobel. I mean, listen, when I was a Christian, I used to read their works. Lee Strobel, Red Case for Christ. Thought it was the bee's knees. Now, as a hindsight 2020, it's a shit book.
Right. So you bring up some kid on TikTok Live that hasn't studied this,
What kid?
and then
Lee Strobel. Lee
like,
Strobel isn't
you
a
bring
kid.
up
He's
some
the author.
random, huh?
Lee Strobel isn't a kid.
No, I know, but the general theme of your stream is you bring up some kid that hasn't studied very much. You put
No,
up a
I
verse
bring
they've
up-
never
I bring
studied
up-
before.
I
and
bring
then
up
you
only
say,
people who are
"Haha,
18
got
years-
you.
I
You're
bring up
dumb."
people who are only 18 years and older. Anyone's allowed to call. Hey, if you know an apologist,
No, I just
fucking-
I get what it's
fucking-
about. Yeah.
if you have a fucking apologist, tell them to call in. I don't I don't pick and choose like who I
Because you
will
won't
and
look
won't let
at
them
all,
be.
right?
Why would I spend my time reading the works of apologists? What? Actually, what the fuck
are
is
you
going on?
apologist or are you
Actually,
just
actually,
waiting on
what
the
the fuck
Bible?
is
I thought
going
you were-
on here? This fella has actually managed to derail me into not allowing him, and not letting him actually give me a fucking reason to believe his book. And yet you want to just sit
Well, it
here
just
and
shows
talk
your
about
bias, right?
You want to talk about the meta all day. I don't give a fuck about
It
the
shows
meta.
your bias.
So you actually, just to be clear, you don't actually have a reason for me to believe in your Bible. This is what this is actually coming down to. You just want to bitch and complain about the fact that I haven't read your greasy apologetics.
Wow, that was a long rant. Are you done?
Are you ready to start? Do you have a reason for me to believe in your Bible?
Yeah, I started. Yeah, I don't know how we got lost in the weeds, I guess. So yeah, I was just saying how like the Bible's super awesome. It's full of awesome stuff.
It's
and you're
full
boring,
of shit.
right? You're like a boring person.
You're boring. Jordan, you've yet to give us.
You're just
actually
some
any
dude sitting in his room.
You've yet to give
Right.
us actually any quote any scripture to us. All you've done is sit here and make is bitch and moan and whine like a baby about how I don't read your apologetics. You've yet to give me any good
21 's
reason
really
to
cool.
believe in your Bible. So why the fuck should I care what's written in the Bible?
Yeah.
Also, that.
Okay, so Revelation 21 describes like a massive golden city in the sky, right, where
Sure.
God dwells. It's like 2,000 kilometers cubic in
Cool
the sky.
story,
like
bro.
a
Why should
massive-
cool story, bro? Why should I believe in the Book of Revelation?
Because it's really cool and you're boring, right? So You know, everybody's
What does
like,
that
Is
have
this
to do with
really the
anything?
Jordan? Is this really the
That's
best
not
you
argument.
got?
well, you are boring though, right? Like, you have
No,
no
you're
I mean,
boring, Jordan.
personally,
I've got
Dalton.
237 people watching me right now, and I've got 2,000. I got 8,000 followers on TikTok and 2,000 on YouTube. I say
Because you're
I'm quite.
talking about Jesus. You're
It says I'm
drifting.
quite. It says it seems like I'm quite
Yeah.
entertaining. You're the boring one here. You can't even like give me a good like a reason to believe in your Bible, except for ooh, it's cool. Oh, dude, it's so fucking cool.
Hey, Dalton.
So
off of
The only
either-
his
reason
premise,
people are watching
So
you is
Jordan,
because you
I'll
talk
give
about
you
the
one
Bible.
last chance. You can either give me a good
Yeah,
reason
you
to
want to
believe
run
in your
away. I
Bible.
get it. Yeah, run away.
No,
I'd
I
be
just
scared
don't.
too.
I just don't like talking to boring people.
keep running. It's
So
fine. You
no,
kicked
I
me
just don't
last
like
time too
talking.
because you can't handle it.
No,
I
I
get it.
heard you were on Ian's live earlier. I'm pretty sure he thoroughly cooked you. So you seem to be
You won't
quite
run away.
boring, and yeah, you can like make the claim that I'm running away, but I'm not running away. If I kick someone out of my house, I'm not
You're
running
Usain
away.
Bolt, bro.
If I kick someone out of my house, I'm not running away from them. It's just that I don't want them in my house anymore. So it seems like you're just bound to sit up here and stall the conversation, so
The
that we
only-
don't actually have a fruitful conversation. And quite
You're a
frankly,
grifter.
I'm not interested in it. And go fuck yourself.
I was about to say, at this rate, if we're going off of the premise of you're boring, we should just give our lives to Odin, go fight and die in a battle, and end up in Valhalla.
By the way,
Sounds
can we
like a
get a bunch
plan.
of baby bottles in the comments for Jordan for being a little bitch baby?
Also, Golden City doesn't seem that like good. Gold is not a very durable material.
Yeah, it sounds like a shit material to make a city out of.
Like if you bite it, it will indent. So imagine thousands of people walking on the street covered in gold. I don't think it's gonna hold up.
He was so boring. He's only got 137 followers, so apparently everyone else thinks he's boring too. How sad. Anyways, we're going to move on to the next guest. We're going to talk to Truman Daniel. Actually, no, GGG Geo has been waiting longer. So GGG Geo, I'm going to call you Geo. Geo, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask every single one of my guests, irrespective of who they are.
Hey there,
question number
how's it
1.
going?
Going good. Question number 1, are you at least 18?
I am way over 18.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
I'm definitely a Bible believer.
And question number 3, what are your pronouns?
I, me, myself.
I, me, myself. Well, what are your third person pronouns?
I go by personal pronouns and reflective and intensive pronouns.
What are your third person pronouns? Because if you can't answer the question, I'll just move on. And I know you've been waiting for a while. I would love to have the conversation with you, but I need to know that you're smart and honest. So, what are your third person pronouns?
Oh, I'd love to have the conversation with you too, man. And no worries.
Is that
no
a
worries at all. I
is that a
was just,
refusal to answer the question?
no, you asked me for pronouns. Now
Third-
you're
here,
you're
what
moving
are
the
your
goalposts,
here?
and I
I'll ask you one
I,
last time
me,
because
myself. Those are my.
I'll ask you one last time, and I'll be more specific because you don't seem to understand the question. What GGGO? What are your third person pronouns? This is your last chance. You can unmute yourself.
So, like I said, there's personal pronouns, demonstrative
All right.
pronouns, possessive
Bye.
pronouns.
Stop pretending like you know grammar. Jesus Christ. All right, Truman Daniel, you get to go now. Truman, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I asked the last guest. Question number 1, are you at least 18?
Yeah, I'm 18 at least.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Hell yes, I believe in it.
All right, and question number 3, what are your pronouns?
He, him.
All right, see, look at that, everybody, how easy that was. Truman, he, him. I'm Dalton the Bible guy. Also,
Listen
he,
here, fucker. Why are
Uh,
you talking bad about it?
chill out, dude. Whoa. Anyways, I don't believe in the Bible.
I don't
Tell me, why should I
understand.
believe in the Bible?
What the fuck is it to you?
It's a question. That's what it is to me. It's a question I would like to have answered. Why should I
What-
believe in
what's
the
the question
Bible?
again?
Why should I believe in the Bible?
Why should you believe in the Bible?
Yes, why should I believe in the Bible? Listen, if you can't answer the question in the next 5 seconds, I'm just going to move on.
All right. The reason why I believe in it is because it's the most historical religious text, or historically accurate. I'm sorry, I'm just waking up. I'm not here to have a bad interaction with you, by the way. I was just messing around.
So Truman, it's not historically accurate. The book of Daniel doesn't even understand like who was king of Babylon and when. It gets all that wrong.
Okay. Could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so Daniel chapter 5 makes the claim that Belshazzar was the final king of Babylon, and he was the son of Nebuchadnezzar. Both of those are wrong. Belshazzar was never king of Babylon. He was the vice regent. His father, Nabonidus, not Nebuchadnezzar, was the final king of Babylon, and he wasn't even related to Nebuchadnezzar.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are you sure it's not translation?
No, I've read the Hebrew.
Okay. Are you sure that it's just not the correct time period? What's your background, by the way? I'm just curious.
Wood paneling. But in all seriously, just have a high school education and a give 'em hell attitude.
Okay, but I mean, like, what kind of studying have you done of like the Hebrew? Because you said you read the Hebrew.
Yeah, I learned Hebrew when I was very young, and then I bought myself a Hebrew Bible and started reading it like hell.
Okay, that's cool. Because my question would be then, why do you disagree with do you disagree with historians that like Jesus existed and that crucifixion happened and that
he existed? He didn't fulfill a single messianic prophecy, and therefore wasn't the Messiah.
So, what about Isaiah and prophecies in the Old Testament that are? I mean, we have the Dead Sea Scrolls. We understand
Which verse in Isaiah are you referring to?
I'm talking about the passage that talks about him being crucified.
There's no passage about a crucifixion in Isaiah. Now, Isaiah 53 describes the suffering of the righteous remnant of Israel and their exaltation, but it never describes the Messiah who is crucified.
Well, it does. It talks about unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given.
That's Isaiah chapter 9. It has nothing to do, and also it's about Hezekiah. It doesn't say unto us a child shall be born. It says in the Hebrew, let me pull up the Hebrew.
Or no, I'm sorry, I misquoted. I'm talking about when it talks about how he was pierced.
Oh, it doesn't say pierced.
It
actually doesn't say pierced in the text. It says micholal, which means he was wounded for our transgressions, but it wasn't pierced. The question is, who's the he in this passage? Does Isaiah ever tell us directly?
Who do you believe it is?
Well, Isaiah tells us in Isaiah 52 verse 13 that it's the servant of Yahweh. And when I read previous chapters, all the previous chapters leading up to Isaiah 52 verse 13, it tells me time and time again, repeatedly, in Isaiah 41, 44, 45, and 48, and 49, that the servant is Israel.
I think these are things I need to look into more. And I think anybody watching should be more willing to just have a conversation about it. And I don't think it has to be a negative interaction like I saw previously. Obviously I'm not going to change my beliefs just off of one conversation, but I think conversations can open up.
Yeah, here's my suggestion. Truman, here's my suggestion for homework. I want you to read Isaiah chapters 40 through 53. And I want you to take note of every time that the servant is mentioned. And after doing that, we can come back and we talk about Isaiah 53.
I'm sorry, say that again. You cut out for me.
Homework for you is to read Isaiah's chapters 40 through 53. And once you do that, then we can talk about Isaiah 53. This is more homework than I've given anyone. But I don't know what it is. I just have a good feeling that you might actually do the homework.
Yeah, no, I think I will read and do more research on like historical data and like read more into the language as well, because I think I'm not very educated like on the original language of the Bible, and I want to be. But I think
I encourage you
I
to.
think for people that want to come on and debate, it's pretty stupid to try to just come on and be like ad hominem, or be like how I was being at first as a joke.
Well, I'll say the conversation went a lot better than I thought it was going to go. And yes, I also encourage you to attempt to learn some of the biblical languages.
I wasn't really here to debate. I was just here to like show how stupid it sounds when people just want to come on here and cuss you out.
Oh, trust me, I'm used to it, and it makes for great clips to clip. But Truman, I think I'm going to move on to the next guest, and you have your homework. Read Isaiah chapters 40 through 53, and get back to me on it.
Sounds good. Have a good one, man.
You too.
Bye.
All right, I'm going to move on to the next guest. We have Just Joshy. Joshy, I'm going to ask you the same three questions I ask all my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number one, are you at least 18 years old? Real quick, Luna in the comments. No, I don't use the Strong's Concordance because the Strong's doesn't actually tell you what the Hebrew and Greek mean. They tell you how those words are translated in the King James Version Bible. Joshy, are you at least 18?
Yes, I am.
Question number two, are you a Bible believer?
Yes, I am.
And then question number three, what are your pronouns?
He, him.
All right, Joshy, he, him. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy, he, him. I do not believe in the Bible. Joshy, why should I believe in the Bible?
Well, you know, I'm not as probably well researched as you are. I'm still fairly new to being a believer, but when I read the Bible, I look at I think a lot of people are saying like they seem like God is writing it, but to my understanding, it's inspired by him and like written by different people. It sounds like maybe like different people's perspective of what happened during that time. So I don't know if we can necessarily say that there's 100% validity to certain things, because you have things like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, where they're all somewhat telling the same story, but from different perspectives, you know? But for me, my standpoint with believing in the Bible is just I take things that like the fruits of the Spirit and things like that, like like certain commandments and things that he tells us that in the Bible shares with us to as human beings that we should do to live amongst the land and be
some of those
I guess kind to one another.
Some of those commandments are good, but a lot of them aren't. And here's the thing, Joshy,
Okay.
I don't think that there are any good commandments that you can find in the Bible that you can't get anywhere else. But there's a lot of bad stuff in the Bible too. Like, for example, the fact that women are treated as if they were property.
Mm-hmm.
Or slavery. What do you think about slavery?
I don't agree with that.
And Yahweh, the God of the Bible, gave his people, the Israelites, laws on how they can own slaves. And he makes the claim that they can beat slaves as long as they don't die in 2 or 3 days, and that they can pass on those slaves as an inheritance to their children and to their children after them. So there are certain parts of the Bible which are good, but here's the thing. If you were handed a giant pile of shit and it had a few pieces of corn in it, would you try to pick out the corn and eat it?
No. I mean, not so that I'm not trying to eat that after spitting that, no.
Yeah, I think you can find better sources for like moral like ethics and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think when I look at things like, you know, like in like the fruits of the Spirit, like in Galatians, you know, when it talks about, you know, the fruits of the Spirit being like love, joy, peace, kindness, goodness, faith, and all those things, I think about if you look at the way the world is today, if we were to try to apply some more of those things to ourselves so that we can coexist with other people, I think the world would be a much better place because we wouldn't, you know what I mean, treat people with kindness. Like I've seen people come on here who say they're believers, but they're cussing at you and yelling. I'm like, the Bible shouldn't be a thing that we're yelling at each other over and stuff like that. Like we can talk and have a simple conversation and just hear each
Sure,
other out. You know what I mean?
but you've already said that you wouldn't be willing to like pick out a few pieces of corn from a pile of shit to eat it. And the problem is that the majority of the Bible isn't all that good, Joshi. It advocates for slavery. It treats women like property. It actually tells us that if a woman is raped, that she has to be forced to marry her rapist. And Jesus doesn't have a lot of good. And Jesus, his position was that you need to follow the law of Moses, and the law of Moses directly teaches us that we have to keep these things.
Well, that's why I kind of pointed out in the beginning that I think that people would keep saying that this is Jesus or this is God's way, but it seems like a lot of books in the Bible are just inspired by, they say that it's inspired by God, but it's individuals, they're humans supposedly, but none of us know. We didn't live in that time. You know what I mean? We don't know. But I guess the other thing I just say, I live by that. I look at the things that I can apply to my life that will be beneficial to me, that would be conducive for me to live peacefully among the land, to treat others with respect, to love each other, to not disrespect you, so that and not look at you like, oh, I hate you because you're.
If that's all you're looking for, if that's all you're looking for, bud, I would just suggest checking out the Secular Humanism Manifesto. It's a lot more conducive towards like kindness and well-being towards your fellow man.
Well, I believe I get that now from the Bible. I don't feel like I'm led astray by it. I live a life that's simple.
How much of the Bible have you actually read?
Not a whole lot. Just here and there. But what I have read, it opened my eyes to being a better human being and loving others, like with the love of God. And
I'm glad that you've picked out some of the good parts of the Bible, but Joshua, I do suggest that you start from Genesis 1 verse 1 and read the book front to cover.
Okay.
And then get back to us on whether or not you think that the Bible is really a good source of morality. Because I think what's really happening here, Joshi, is that innately you're just a good person. And there are good people who will open the Bible and they will use the Bible to justify their goodness. And there are bad people, like some of the people that we've seen here tonight, who will open the Bible and use it to justify them being bad. So it seems like the Bible doesn't really make anyone good or bad, but it can justify, but it can, and sadly in some cases, make good people do bad things.
Well, I think it can influence you to do better. Like I wasn't always good in a sense. So if you said like I'm probably innately just a good person, we all have a past, you know what I mean? And there was times where I was a liar. I mean, there was times I'd steal. There was times I was very dishonest, you know what I mean? I would be fighting all the time. I was cussing and carrying on and doing all kind of stuff. But when I chose to
changed already, and that you don't like. At the end of the day, the really question is, Joshi, is not are you picking and choosing parts of the Bible that you like, but is the Bible true? What I'm really concerned with, for example, was Jesus really the Son of God and the Messiah? And it looks like we don't really have any good reason to believe that.
I mean, but none of us really have a reason to not believe it. You know what I mean? So it's there's things that for me, I go off of like, you know, we're spirit, we're these beings or whatever, that we're just here.
I don't have any reason to think we are spirits. I think we're just this. Well, we are our bodies.
Let me propose, like, say this to you. Because one day I thought about that. I was like, okay, well, Lord, what are we here for? You know what I mean? What's our purpose? How do we get here? You know, because people have all the Big Bang Theory. They have all these different reasons. And I looked at creation itself. And this is what I just believe that God was talking to me about. And is that we look at creation and we could say, yeah, man, we build houses. Hold on, let me finish. We build houses, we build cars, we build, you know what I mean? We do all these things that we have the capability to do and the knowledge to know how. But who
Mm-hmm.
got up on this big tall ladder and hung the sky and the
No one.
and put air into the air that you and I
Joshy.
are breathing right now and is allowing
Joshy,
us
no,
to find.
no one did those things. Those are
Okay.
those are naturally occurring phenomenon. Now, when it comes to things like houses, we know houses have builders because we have evidence of them being built, and also they don't occur naturally within nature. But stars, those form naturally through natural forces. Gravity works on helium and hydrogen particles, and they spin very fast and they get very hot, and that's what forms stars. No God required.
Yeah, but where do we think those things come from? None of us know
Well,
that.
well,
It's all a mystery to all of us. Nobody
the
knows that.
particles that make up every biological organism or inorganic material in the entirety of the universe simply has always existed. We have no good reason to think it ever had a starting point.
Okay, because that's what I think about. Like I'm looking at creation, and I look at with humans, for example.
That's the
Let
problem,
me
is that
let
you're
me.
starting with the assumption that it is a creation as opposed to what it really
Well, it
is.
is.
No, it's
Okay,
just
well,
nature.
let me give you this example, and now I'm done. If you look at creation, talking about humans, we come from something that's kind of like a liquid form because we know it's semen, where the man, I mean, we procreate. The semen goes into the woman, and the one that we live inside this woman for up to 9 months, however long, until we cook in the belly and it's time for us to come out. And during that time, we're sitting in this liquid where we can breathe and live and do all these things.
And it's
But
completely natural.
right, but hold on. But when we come out, we no longer can immerse ourselves in water like that, submerge ourselves in water and stay underwater for a long period of time. And then from that,
There are certain liquids that are so actually dense with oxygen that you can actually like breathe the liquids because of the oxygen content.
Right. So look, but during that time where we come from liquid, mind you, we all know what semen looks like. We grow a brain. We
Yeah,
to think
Joshy,
for ourselves. We grow
everything you're
eyes to see.
describing, Joshy,
We
everything
grow a
you're
mouth to
describing,
talk.
Joshy, everything you're describing, biologists understand how these things occur, and there is no magical, invisible hand guiding all this. It's all completely natural. We understand how gestation occurs in the womb and conception.
Yeah,
It's
but
natural.
where do you think that comes from? Because even if you don't believe in God, wouldn't you
Biology.
believe in some type of like a higher being or something for us to? Somebody has to have
Just
created that.
No, not somebody, something, and it's just a natural. It's just nature working as nature does. Evolution, abiogenesis, gravity. These are all natural occurrences that lead to what we currently have.
Okay. Maybe I need to look at it more, but that's just when I look at it, I'm like, how do we
I
go from liquid to having bones and I mean we cut ourselves and we can heal and we grow hair and we grow teeth
Yeah,
and
that's
we can
all
have
natural.
eyes to see and ears to
Yeah,
hear.
Josh.
That's
Yeah,
like
Joshy.
that's
None of
gotta be
those
something
things.
miraculous. You know what I mean?
No, it's not miraculous. There's nothing mystical or magical or unexplained about those things. Like in the sciences of biology, we understand how these things actually work. It's not a mystery by any stretch of the
And
imagination.
no man is creating that. No man can
No, well,
replicate that.
actually,
So
yeah,
where do we get that?
I was created by a man.
No, I'm saying no man can go in and goes into a laboratory and creates this thing
But they
with
have.
Not
eyes
yet.
and teeth.
Oh,
But
Mikhail.
where are they pulling it
So
from?
currently, where the research is, it's deemed unethical to continue it. But
Mm.
currently in the research, we have made embryos that come not from essentially the semen or an egg. We have made embryos that don't come from either. We have made embryos, children who have lived, who come from 2 eggs of 2 different women. We have done different things.
Right, but you see what you just said? They're coming from a being.
Yeah.
It's not like they just
No,
went in the
they-
lab and cooked up. Like how you guys can take some salt and some vinegar and some oil and throw
Well,
it together and
actually,
make
Joshy,
a
have you
pie
ever
out
heard
of
of
it.
Joshy?
You know
Have
what I
you heard?
mean?
Joshy, have you ever heard of the Uri Miller experiment?
No, I haven't.
Two scientists named Uri Miller, they used naturally occurring chemicals and recreated what they thought the early Earth was like, and just introduced some lightning, which again would just be naturally occurring within nature. And within a week, amino acids, the building blocks of life, were already forming within the liquid. They just reproduced what would have happened naturally without anyone around.
But was it human beings they were creating out of that?
Well, no, they create amino
substance
acids. In order to get human beings, you need billions of years of evolution.
Right. So they still didn't create. They still didn't create a being.
They use inorganic materials to make the building blocks of life. This is the first step towards evolution, and thus eventually down the line, more complex creatures like humans.
Right, but who created it before then?
No, there's no who.
Scientists. You're saying scientists are just
Joshy,
now. Look, after all these
you
years,
need to change a word.
Just now discovering this.
Joshy, you need to change a word in your question. The question is
What
not
do you mean?
who created it. The question is what. Because if you want to make the claim that's a
Okay,
who,
but
you
still,
need to
what?
demonstrate
But
that's a
do
person.
you know what? But I'm saying, do you know what that what is?
Yeah, the natural forces of the natural forces of nature, gravity, the strong nuclear force, the weak nuclear force, the electromagnetic force. Like, none of these things are mysterious to us. I think what you need to do, Joshy, it seems like you are, and I'm not faulting you for this because I was in the same position years ago,
Okay.
not very educated on like physics or biology or any of the sciences. I suggest that you go and you learn a little bit more about these sciences, and not from Christians, because learn it from actual scientists. Go and, for example, I'll give you a recommendation. Do you know who Neil deGrasse Tyson is?
No, I don't.
I want you to look for something called Cosmos with Neil deGrasse Tyson. You just put Neil Tyson, Cosmos.
Hold on, let me write it. Let me write it down. Hold on. Neil, is it Neil or something?
Yeah, Neil. And then Tyson is Tyson.
Okay.
And his show that he has is called Cosmos. Cosmos.
Cosmos. Okay.
Find that show. Go and watch it. It'll give you a good introduction.
Is that like on YouTube or something?
I don't know if it's on YouTube, but if you ask Google and ask you where is it streaming, I'm sure you can find one of the streaming services that it's on.
Okay. Yeah, because I hear what you're saying, but it doesn't make sense to me because I'm still just thinking about the.
And we have a name for this within. It's called an argument from ignorance. It basically, and not to say that it's not like a dig against you.
Yeah,
it just simply means
it's somebody not knowing information. I know what ignorance means.
Yeah, it's basically saying I don't understand this. I don't understand this thing. Well, I do. I don't understand this thing, and therefore God. But instead of saying therefore God, you should say I don't understand this thing, and therefore I'm going to go learn how it actually works. That's the only way that we actually make discoveries. But I need to move on to.
I think about if science could prove it this far, they would have, and I feel like there's not. They have, but nobody's.
You haven't actually looked into this, have you? Joshy,
but nobody's creating human beings out of this liquid.
That doesn't mean anything. Here's the thing, Joshy, and I'll leave it at this, and I'll make this the last word.
Okay.
Until such a time as you can demonstrate and prove that the supernatural exists, the only viable explanation for where life came from is through a natural mechanism. And I'm going to leave it at that. And you go and watch Neil deGrasse Tyson on Cosmos, and it'll be a good little introduction for you on some of these scientific principles. And then we can have another conversation.
So can I ask you something really quick before we go? What made you, because you said that you were a believer when you were like younger. You went to church like that. So what was it, the turning point in your life that made you feel like, I don't want to believe in this anymore, or I feel like it's false?
Reading this book, the Bible. I read it front to back in the original languages, and I paid very close attention to it. And it became very obvious because I was more interested. I wasn't interested in keeping myself to believe what I already believed. I was more interested in whatever was true. And when I did that with an open mind and read the Bible, it became very clear that I couldn't believe in it anymore. But anyways,
Were you believing in the words, or were you thinking about like relationship with him as versus just words off pages in a book?
I believed I had a relationship at the time with God. I now recognize
Mm-hmm.
that it was just a parasocial relationship with a fictional being, and it was through reading the Bible that I realized that it's simply not true. And I'm going to leave it at that. So, Joshy, you have a good night.
You too.
All right. We're going to go to, let's see, Dory. Dory, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions that I ask every single one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old? Dory? Dory?
I don't think they know they're up here.
All right. Well, I'm just going to drop them and move on to the next guest. All right. We got here Larion. Lyrian. Is it Larion or Lyrian?
Yes, hello.
Is it Larion or Lyrian?
Yeah, Valerian.
Okay, Larian. I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask every single one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18?
Yes.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
All right. By the way, today's episode has been brought to you by Ozarka Water. Drink proud, drink Texan. Question number 3, Larry, are you what are your pronouns?
Pronouns, I'm a guy, so I guess he was it he him, right?
He him, all right. Larian, he him. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy, he him. I don't believe in the Bible, Larian. Why should I believe in the Bible?
Okay, so when you say you don't believe in the Bible, are you already a theist who does not believe in the Bible, or you are not even a theist at all?
I'm an atheist, but I used to be a theist.
Okay, so I think because from what I've heard you say, I don't think you should start from the Bible. I think you should start from the basics, get the get the argument for God, get it down, then do a little bit metaphysics. Then you can now get into the Bible, because there's a lot of anthropomorphism in the Bible.
No, because even if I believed it, let's pretend for a moment that I believed in a deistic God. Why should I believe in the Bible? Because it's obvious. Because I guarantee you don't actually believe in the God of the Bible. You believe in sounds like you probably believe in the God of philosophy, which is a God who's all powerful, all knowing, all good, which is not the God of the Bible.
Which is the God of the Bible?
No, it's not. That does not describe the God of the Bible. The God of the Bible is not all knowing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you study philosophy, if you study a little bit of metaphysics, then you're able to make the connection. But without one, you misunderstand the Bible. I guarantee you. Without
here's the thing. Here's the thing, Larian. I don't shove metaphysics and philosophical concepts from post-biblical times into the Bible. I care only what the Bible actually says, not what I want it to say. So if the Bible presents God as all-knowing, then I would believe that. But if the Bible doesn't present God as all-knowing, I won't believe he's all-knowing according to the Bible.
Right, I agree with you. I don't think you should shove any metaphysics into the Bible. But I think metaphysics will help you to understand God first. Then when you are reading the Bible, for example,
what happens when your metaphysics contradicts the Bible?
Oh, then maybe your metaphysics is wrong, or your understanding of the Bible is wrong.
So let's talk about one of the attributes of God. Do you think God is immutable?
Yes.
All right. Does the Bible present God as being immutable?
The Bible, if you heard me say, I said the Bible uses anthropomorphism. Do you know what that means?
Yeah, it's the idea that the way that Christians deal with the fact that God is presented as having a body. They make the claim though, well, it doesn't really mean he actually has a body. God's a spirit,
so
and the Bible just uses
human
language.
Right,
but I don't.
Exactly.
But here's the problem. Here's the problem, Larry.
Okay.
I don't give the Bible special treatment. I treat the Bible the same way I treat every other ancient Near Eastern text.
Oh, okay. Then you are fundamentalist, theologically at least. It's just like, okay, this is what Christians believe, and I disagree with that. But your understanding is just the same
Yeah,
as their own
yeah.
understanding.
I treat the Bible the way I would treat, for example, the Enuma Elish. So, like for example, when the Enuma Elish describes Marduk as having a physical body, I
Uh-huh.
don't take that to mean that it's symbolic of something. I take that to mean that the ancients believed that the gods had physical form, and the same is true for the God of the Bible.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's why I said, because I already figured out where the problem lies. I think that's the problem. If you understand the metaphysics, just like
Yeah,
Aquinas,
the
it will help
problem
you to make the
is,
connection. If you don't understand
yeah,
it,
I'm
you
not
keep
willing.
arguing on the turf of
I don't.
like
So I
the
don't.
American evangelist. Yeah.
So I don't really care
Evangelical,
about.
sorry,
I
not
don't. So I don't
evangelist.
really care about post-biblical philosophical innovations of the Bible. Those come about later, and that's just the way for Christians to cope with the fact that their Bible says something that they don't like. And I don't care about that. I only care about what's true. So I'm not going to read
I'll tell you
these
why you should.
innovations onto the Bible. I want to read the Bible for how the authors would have understood it.
Okay, I'll tell you why you should care about it. Okay, because we are a modern people. If you live if you lived before the advent of a scientific understanding of the world, you would not have needed metaphysics. You just understand the Bible the way it was written, because the people it was written for have a particular way of understanding things, of explaining things. So
Yeah,
they
they
don't
wrote
have
their God
our
to
own
be like
scientific.
them.
They don't have a scientific example. So if they want to write something, they use their experience, their normal experience. They can say like
Yeah,
maybe they want to write a saga or
their
poem.
God, the Israelites just wrote their God to be like them. It's as simple as it is.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so they appeal to the sense, the conventional sense, okay, to explain the truth. But we, as a scientific thinker,
I don't care what the saints thought.
yeah, but we are not them. Okay, we think differently. We are more precise in our language. We are more scientific minded. So we need a scientific language to understand
when
the
I
same
read the
thing.
Hebrew Bible, I read it from the perspective of an ancient Israelite.
But you're still not gonna understand because you're not them. You don't have their mindset.
Yeah,
You
but
don't have their
I
worldview.
probably understand
You
it
don't
better
have their
than someone who's
language.
actually I do. I speak Hebrew, so
No,
I
I don't
probably
mean Hebrew.
understand
I
it
mean
better than
language, the
someone.
concept by which they understand.
I probably understand it better than someone who is imposing philosophical innovations from post-biblical era upon the text. See,
Yeah,
you
but if they're
have
not
this.
imposing, if
You
they're
have
just using
this.
a
You
tool
have
to
Jesus
understand.
fucking Christ. You have this necessity to make the Bible harmonize with your theology. I don't have that. I'm willing to let the biblical authors say what they want to say and tell me what they believe without imposing someone else's framework upon them. So just because you believe that God is immutable, or that St. Justin Martyr or if Eusebius believed that God was immutable, I don't give a fuck about that. The question is, what did the authors of the Pentateuch and the authors of the prophets believe about God? And I'm sure as hell not going to get that from reading the saints. You can unmute yourself.
Okay. Do you, when something you can demonstrate by reason contradicts the Bible, which one do you go with?
Yeah, if you can demonstrate something by reason, it can't contradict the Bible because the Bible's just a book.
Okay. Since you mentioned the earlier church fathers, that means you're familiar with Aquinas, right?
Yeah, in fact, Thomas Aquinas was my confirmation saint when I was converted to the Catholic Church.
Awesome. So,
but again, I don't care about Thomas Aquinas' philosophy because it has nothing to do with the God of the Bible. He didn't believe in Yahweh. He believed in Yahweh, the God Yahweh mixed in with the Aristotelian prime mover brought together. I don't care about that God. I only care about what is Yahweh like in the Bible. And you're never going to get anywhere with me by talking about these post-biblical philosophical innovations.
Yeah, I get you want to use a different lens to understand the Bible out of the context in which you're supposed to understand it. So that's the problem. It's like throwing away the tool you need for something. So it's like, now how do you want to continue to be an American evangelical? You want to continue being wrong. Somebody's giving you the tool to properly understand the text. You say, no, I don't need it. I want to go back to...
Yeah, Lyran, and because I actually care about wanting to understand like Isaiah for what he said, I'm not going to read the church fathers framework onto Isaiah. I'm going to let
The
Isaiah speak
church.
for himself.
Yeah, but you're already assuming that you understand what Isaiah is saying.
Yeah, because
You
I
see?
have other works from the ancient Near East from around this time, and then we do comparative studies on the works from that period in order to understand like what was the normative framework of understanding for like people of the ancient Near East. When Isaiah says that the earth is a circle, how should I understand that? When Isaiah describes God as sitting on a throne, how should I understand that? How would I read this from any other ancient work?
Yeah, how do you understand that? Go ahead and
That
tell me.
Yahweh has a body and he sits on a throne. That's how
Oh, okay.
that's how I would read it if I were reading any other ancient work.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay. But at least you're willing to concede that that's not how the church reads it.
I don't care for how the church reads it. I think the church
Okay.
like
That's
I don't necessarily think the church is very good at reading the Bible. Like the authors of the New Testament weren't very good at reading the Hebrew Bible. They constantly misquote it.
And you are good at reading it. That's the point
Yeah.
I think you're making. Okay.
Yes.
I think that's fair to claim that you understand the Bible, that your understanding is proper, and the church's is false. I think we have at least clarification, even if we disagree. I think it's better to
So
find
maybe I
area
should
of-
reframe the conversation so we can actually get somewhere in this conversation. I don't think Jesus fulfilled a single messianic prophecy. Would you agree or disagree?
I think because we don't have a basis upon which we can agree and then proceed, because you're already saying your
You're not gonna-
interpretation is the correct one.
Yeah,
So I have
you're not.
assume
In other words, yeah,
that
the different
before I-
framework is that I'm going to read the Hebrew Bible for what it actually says, and then
No,
you're
what
going
you
to
think
read
it
things
says.
into the text that aren't there.
No.
I can actually-
I think you're reading into the text.
No. For example, Lyrian, I can actually. Can you read Hebrew?
No, I cannot. I'm
Okay,
sure the
I can-
church
I can read
understands
Hebrew.
Hebrew.
I
Yeah,
can
but
read
I'm
Hebrew,
sure the
and I
church
can know.
reads
I can know for a fact that Isaiah 7:14, for example, doesn't say anything about a virgin because the word for virgin being betula, not present.
I'm not sure how like it matches with the point you were making earlier. Because you have to
That I
have
actually,
a
I actually
particular way
care
of
what Isaiah.
understanding
I actually
versus
care
what the church
I actually
says,
care.
the
Yeah,
verse is saying.
you seem to be all caught up with what the early church fathers believed. I don't give a fuck.
No, church. No,
With the- I don't give a. I don't. I don't.
Just
I don't
let's say
care.
church. Let's say church.
I don't care what the Catholic or Orthodox Church says. I actually care what the Bible says. If you want to propose to me that I should believe in one of the dogmas, so here's a look. My shirt says data over dogma. Now, the reason for that is because I don't give a fuck about dogma. I don't care what it is that your church believes. I only care what does the Bible actually say, plainly. Not reading things into it that aren't there. What does it plainly say? So, Lyrian, are you basically admitting to me that if we go by just what the Bible says, that you're not going to be able to support any of your actual beliefs? You can unmute yourself. You can unmute yourself.
Oh, okay, sure. If you're reading the Bible through the lens of the fundamentalist evangelical, okay, that's fine.
Not,
That's
I
a
don't
different
read
way
the
of
Bible.
reading the
I don't read the Bible through the lens of a fundamentalist evangelical. Fundamentalist evangelicals believe in the Trinity, right?
Yeah, I'm sure
I
some
don't-
of them do. Some of them
Yeah,
do.
I don't believe in the Trinity.
Not
Fundamentalist
all of
Christian,
them do,
fundamentalist evangelicals believe in the infallibility and inerrancy of the Bible and that it's univocal. I don't believe that. So no, I don't read the Bible like a fundamentalist evangelical.
No, that's
They
it.
have dogmas
You
just like you.
No, but they are reading the Bible in a particular way. What they end up believing is could be different, but the way they are reading it, even if they are coming to a different conclusion from you, is a different thing. But
Yeah,
the
they're
fact is
reading
that
it
you're
through the
reading
lens of the. They're
literally.
reading it through the
Yeah,
lens
just
of
the way
their
you are.
dogma. They're reading it through the lens of their dogma.
They are reading it literally. Just
Through
the way
the
you
lens,
read
through the
in
lens,
English and
through the lens
other-
of through the lens of their dogma. I don't have any dogma. I don't have any church beliefs that make me read the Bible in a particular way. So, do you have anything to like add to this conversation other than that you don't like my framework of reading the Bible?
No, I don't care. I'm an engineer. I don't have to like or dislike. I think you're wrong. That's different from saying I don't like what you're saying or your worldview or your framework. Even though you are saying that, yeah, I don't have to like you or this thing. I deal with facts as they present
You're
themselves.
boring. You're boring me. Like
Yeah, that's fine.
you're basically telling me, listen, that listen, if you read the Bible for what it not literally says, but for what it plainly says, then sure, you're not going to get to my particular church's beliefs. And not interested in that. I don't care about your dogma. I only care about the data. What does the data tell me? What does the actual text say?
I think we already have a kind of agreement that you don't care about the literal genre in which the Bible was written in. Okay, you just care about.
You've bored me beyond comprehension. I don't give a shit about your dogma. I never will. If you just admit that the Bible doesn't say what it is you believe.
Was he Orthodox Catholic or just Catholic?
I don't know. He belonged to some sort of traditional organization, either the Orthodox or the Ethiopian or the Catholic Church. Boring. All right, Scuff. I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions that I ask every single one of my guests, irrespective of who they are. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, I'm 26.
Question number 2, are you a Bible believer?
Yes, sir.
And question number 3, what are your pronouns?
He, him, for TikTok's sake.
Scuff, he, him, I'm Dalton, the Bible guy, he, him. Why should I believe in the Bible?
Nice to meet you, Dalton.
I mean, we're not really meeting.
I guess
this is not the first time you've been on here.
this is a great start, isn't it? This is a great start. You're just being rude off the bat.
I mean, the first time we ever spoke, you called me a fat ass, so I'm not really all that interested in, like, niceties. So, Scuff, why should I believe in the Bible?
I'm sorry, that was so funny. Why should you believe in the Bible?
Mm-hmm.
It accurately predicts a lot of the troubles and tribulations we're going through today.
Nah.
Such as the one in 1 Timothy, such as some parts of Revelation.
Well, how about we be a bit more specific?
Yeah, okay. There's a part in 1 Timothy where it says, during the last days, I can't remember word for word. It's a big
Men
book.
will be lovers of themselves, seeking only for their pleasures. So, Scuff.
Yeah, it does say that in the beginning, but that wasn't the point I was trying to make. It says further on that children will rule over their parents.
Sure.
And I think if you look at...
Sure.
Yeah, I
Scuff,
think if you look at
has
what's
this ever
going on
not been
today...
true? Has this ever not been true?
Me again.
Yeah,
Yes,
Scuff, has it?
yes.
This is a category of prophecy that I call observatory prophecy. It's like when Jesus said, there will be wars and rumors of wars and famines, or whenever Peter says that there will be mockers in the last days. Like, these aren't really prophecies. They're more like observations and the claim that they will continue on into the future, because these things have always been true.
Can you prove that claim that children have always ruled over their parents?
That they have ruled over their parents?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, the children have, like, for example, children have always been disobedient. And by the way, does it say rule in the text in the original Greek? Like, what does
That's
rule
a good
mean?
question. You could pull up the Septuagint if you wanted.
Why would I bring up the Septuagint?
Oh no, that's Old Testament. It's been a while. My theological knowledge is it's not up to scratch. I definitely
What's
need
the
to
actual
get better.
what's the actual passage? 1 Timothy 4?
I can't remember. You know it though. You quoted the first of it.
Now the Spirit expressly says that in latter times some will depart from the faith by giving heed to deceitful and doctrines of demons, through the pretensions of liars whose consciences are seared, who forbid marriage and enjoin abstinence from foods which God created to be received with thanksgiving by those who believe and know the truth. For everything created by God is... I don't think this is the passage, but still, I mean, this is just another example.
Wrong. It's not in Timothy. I was wrong. My mistake. It actually is in the Old Testament from memory. It's in Isaiah.
Oh, great.
So yeah,
Isaiah chapter 1? Or is it 2?
3, I think. I think.
What verse?
Verse 12. That's what ChatGPT says. I hope it came in clutch.
Oy vey.
Hey,
Let's
babe.
see.
Shabbat shalom, brother.
What?
Nothing. Sorry, go ahead.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah, I know. Wait, yeah, I know. Just go ahead.
Their partiality witness against them. They proclaim their sin like Sodom. They do not hide it. Woe to them, for they have brought evil upon themselves. Tell the righteous that it shall be well with them, for they shall eat the fruit of their deeds. Woe to the wicked, it shall be ill with them, for what his hands have done shall be done to him. My people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. Are present tense. This is not a prophecy.
No, but it's a prophecy of the end times. It's a prophecy of the end times.
No, it's not about the end times. It's about the nation of Israel prior to the Assyrians and the Babylonians overtaking them. It's not that the children will oppress them, their people, but the children are their oppressors. Present tense.
No.
Oh, my people, your leaders mislead you and confuse the course of your of your paths. Yahweh has taken his place to contend. He stands to judge his people. Yahweh enters into judgment.
When is God judging us? When is God judging us?
This is not about Scuff. This isn't about you. This is about the Israelites at their time.
I'm an Israelite.
No, you're not. So God judged his people. No, Scuff. God judged his people according to the book of Isaiah several times. He judged them when he allowed the Babylonians to overtake them and take them into exile. Yes or no? Is that not a judgment from God?
Yes.
All right. This is not about the last days. Most of the prophets, the prophets of Isaiah and Jeremiah weren't all that, for the most part, weren't all that interested in like the far future. These are prophecies about things which were happening for their time. Isaiah is saying that his people are, like, again, what's the tense in verse 12?
Sorry to interrupt you, but you just said that Isaiah and Jeremiah didn't prophesy about the future.
No, I didn't say that. I said about the far future. They were more concerned with
Isaiah and Jeremiah didn't prophesy about the far future.
No, they were more concerned. They were more concerned. Like maybe you can talk about like Ezekiel with the prophecy about the temple, but from the perspective.
Isaiah and Jeremiah. You said they weren't talking about the far future, correct?
No, they thought that their prophecies were going to be soon coming to pass.
You're such a coward. Did you or did you not just say that Isaiah and Jeremiah
were not concerned with the far? They weren't talking about the 21st century. Their prophecies were intended to be fulfilled with it. That's the far part.
Can you turn your Bible to Isaiah 4?
Scuff. Shut the fuck up for 5 seconds. The prophets.
Hey, fatty, kick back.
Hey, you are the one who has supposedly the Holy Spirit. You need to chill the fuck out and exemplify the fruits of the Spirit.
Yet. I'm not baptized yet.
Well, then be better. Maybe I should send this to you. Maybe I should send this to your church so that they won't baptize you. But anyways,
yeah, do it.
The prophets weren't all that concerned with the 21st century. They were, when I said the far future, I meant our present day. They were more concerned with the fact that the children of Israel were. They were more concerned with the fact that the children of Israel were wicked in their generation, and God was going to soon bring judgment upon them. Sometimes these prophecies came to pass, sometimes they didn't.
Go to Isaiah 44 and it will contradict everything you just said.
Okay, well, let's test your knowledge in Isaiah chapter 44. Who is the author of Isaiah 44?
I don't know. Good question. Isaiah.
Jesus Christ. No, it wasn't Isaiah. This section of Isaiah was written by an unknown prophet at the time of the return of the exiles from Babylon, and his prophecies were intended to be about the Israelites as they were leaving their exile and what he believed would soon happen to them.
So an unknown prophet. So it could have been Isaiah.
No, because Isaiah didn't live at the time of the exile, the return of the exiles. He lived a few hundred years prior to.
But you don't know who the prophet is, so how do you know when it was written?
We know when it was written by the context of the actual passage, because the prophet speaks to King Cyrus in Isaiah 45 in the past tense.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, go ahead.
Which verse?
The one about the suffering servant. I think it's verse 12. I can't remember off the top of my head.
No, it's not verse 12. You mean verse 21? Remember these
21,
things, O
that's
Jacob and Israel, for you are my servant. I formed you. You are my servant, O Israel. You will not be forgotten by me. I have swept away your transgressions like a cloud, and your sins like mist. Return to me, for I have redeemed you. Yeah, this is referring to the Israelites as they were.
Go ahead. Yeah.
This is referring to the Israelites as they were leaving the exile in Babylon.
No, the suffering servant verse is the one I'm on
Isaiah
about.
53. Yeah, Isaiah 53. The idea of Isaiah 53, when that's an immediate context, if you read Isaiah 52 first, is the Israelites as they are leaving Babylon. And God says to them in Isaiah 52, verse 1, let's see, Isaiah 52, awake, put on your strength, O Zion, put on your beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the holy city, for there shall no more come into you the uncircumcised and the unclean. Shake yourself from the dust. Arise, O captive Jerusalem. Loose the bonds from your neck, O captive daughter of Zion. This is referring to the Jewish people in their exile in Babylon. For thus saith Yahweh, you were sold for nothing, and you shall be redeemed without money. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, my people went down at the first into Egypt to sojourn there, and the Assyrian oppressed them for nothing.
Sorry to interrupt. Did you say that they would be redeemed for nothing?
Yeah, that's referring to their...
When will they be redeemed?
Well, from the perspective, the author of 2nd Isaiah, it was about to occur.
Where does
they
it
were
say
leaving.
that?
They were leaving Babylon, which was them being redeemed from their captivity.
Where does it say they will be redeemed soon? It doesn't say that anywhere. You're adding.
Yeah, well, the context of 2nd Isaiah, which is Isaiah chapter 42,
Do you remember?
56. Scuff, shush. When I'm talking, you don't talk. The context of 2nd Isaiah is that it's written at the time when the Jewish people are just now coming out of exile in Babylon and they are returning to their homeland. That's what the verses I was just reading to you was about the children of Israel loosing the bonds of their servitude from Babylon and returning to their homeland. They have just got done suffering at the hands of the nations, and they are now about to be exalted before the eyes of the nations. By the way, Isaiah 52 verse 1 didn't come about.
Do you remember when with the last guest you said you're not interested in context and dogma, you just like raw value?
I said I'm not interested in dogma, I'm interested in the data, and the data
now
tell
you're
me,
reading it
and the data tell us
lens of
that
the-
Isaiah 52 was written during the time of the exile. No, because unlike you, Scuff, I've actually read 2nd Isaiah. Like, you're just talking about things you don't know anything about. You didn't even know when 2nd Isaiah was written. You didn't know who the author was. You thought it was Isaiah.
Neither do you.
No, you thought it was Isaiah. I know for a fact it's an unknown. I know that's an unknown author who lived after the time of Isaiah. You didn't fucking know any of that. I know that the entire context of 2nd Isaiah is about the redemption of the Jewish people from their exile in Babylon. You didn't know that.
Servant that's pierced for our transgressions.
Not pierced. Not pierced.
Mecholal. What does it say?
Mecholal means wounded, not pierced. Dekar.
Oh, wounded.
The word dekar means to be pierced. Your translation says pierced because your translators are trying to read Jesus into the text, even though Scuff, according to 2nd Isaiah,
doesn't really matter.
No, it does matter. According to 2nd Isaiah, Scuff, the servant is not this. It's not first mentioned in Isaiah 52 verse 13. How all the times that the servant is mentioned, who does the author tell us it is?
Who does it tell us it is?
Well, we just read Isaiah. We just read Isaiah 44 verse 21, and who did it say the servant was?
Sorry, I'm talking about Isaiah 53.
Well, fun fact: when this author wrote this section of Isaiah, there were no chapter divisions. It was one continuous text, and the author assumes that if you've managed to get into this, he didn't imagine that one day a bunch of Christians who weren't even Israelites, who weren't reading Hebrew, would be reading one part of his book out of context. He thought, well, if they've gotten to this part of the book, they've probably read all the chapters prior, the sections prior to it, and they would know that over and over and over again, the servant is repeatedly referred to as Israel.
Yeah, that's great. So I wonder why there's like so many billions of people who believe it's talking about Jesus Christ. Have we all been brainwashed and lied
because
to?
like you, Scuff, they didn't bother to actually learn the original Hebrew, to read it in its original context. They didn't bother reading the previous chapters of Isaiah. They didn't bother considering the fact that perhaps Isaiah 53 isn't meant to be read all by its lonesome self.
No, it's not. You're correct.
And also, you're making an ad populum fallacy. I don't give a fuck how many people believe a thing. Doesn't make it true.
No, I know. I was just asking you a question that's saying, have we all been deceived?
Yes, you have been deceived. You
yes,
hold because unlike you, I've actually read the fucking Bible.
Yeah. You hold the truth. And what is the truth?
That the suffering servant is Israel, the righteous remnant of Israel.
So Israel, the country or the people?
The righteous remnant of Israel.
What is the righteous remnant of Israel? The country or the people?
The people.
Okay.
There was no such thing as a country called Israel in the ancient world. There was a kingdom of Israel. No, I'm not an Israelite. Neither are you. But I do at least read the Hebrew of the book. No, you're not.
I identify as it.
I don't give a shit what you identify as. Anyways, unlike you, like if the suffering servant is meant to be a singular individual, Scuff, why does it refer to them in the plural in verse 8?
Verse 8? That's a good question, because the Godhead is triune.
I didn't ask. So wait, you're now going to appeal to Patripassianism, which is a heresy in the church, that the Father also... Patripassianism is a heresy within Christianity that teaches that God the Father suffered with Jesus on the cross. Are you going to hold to that heresy now?
No, God the Father did not suffer on the cross. Jesus Christ
the person in verse 8 of chapter 53 suffers, is afflicted. So is this referring to the Trinity suffering in the affliction of the cross?
Can you read the verse for me?
Yeah. By oppression and judgment he was taken away, and as for his generation, who has considered that he was cut off from the land of the living? Because of the transgression of my people, they were afflicted.
The people were afflicted?
What?
The people were afflicted?
Yeah, they were afflicted.
Yeah, the people were afflicted.
Israel, the righteous remnant.
Yeah, the followers of the suffering servant.
No, not the followers of the suffering servant. The
Read
suffering
it again,
servant
sorry?
themselves.
Maybe I got lost. Read it slowly, because I'm a bit silly.
Yeah, by oppression and judgment he was taken away. And as for his...
So that's single.
Yeah, Scuff, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
As for his generation, who considered that he was cut... Shut up. We'll get to that in a second. You're making yourself look sillier by pointing out the word he. We'll show you why.
Yeah.
Who considered that he was cut off from the land of the living because of the transgression of my people, they were afflicted.
Because of the transgression of my people, the people were afflicted. That's how I read it.
No. Yeah, the people of Israel.
Yeah, so they're not... So go again, back to the start. We're almost there.
Jesus, fuck. Listen, we've already read the verse twice. Now, I'm going to point to your silly point that just because it says he, it's only referring to a singular person. Question: is the nation of Israel as a whole ever referred to as a he in the Bible in the singular?
Yeah, probably.
Yes, good inclination. Hosea 11 verse 1: when Israel was a child, I loved him, and out of Egypt I called my son, referring to the Exodus.
Yeah, we're reading
Isaiah 53. Well, Hosea lived at the same time as Isaiah.
Yeah, but we're reading Isaiah.
Yeah, but they lived. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We have repeated throughout Second Isaiah. If you want to just go by Isaiah, repeatedly throughout Second Isaiah, the servant is called a he, but it's also called Israel.
Oh, let's go to that verse and let's see if we can read it in context. Because you're a very learned man.
Someone has to be. Isaiah 41 verses 8 through 9. But you, singular in the Hebrew, but you, Israel, my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen. Look at that. Isaiah 44
That's
verses
not
1
the
through
suffering
2.
servant, though.
Yes, it
That's not the
is. You
suffering
dunce.
servant.
Shut up, Scuff.
Oh, why are you
But
being
now,
rude now?
hear, O Jacob, my servant, Israel, whom I have chosen. Isaiah 44 verses
Not
1
the
through 2.
suffering servant.
Isaiah 44 verse 21. Remember these things, O Jacob, you are my servant. I formed you. You are my servant, O Israel.
Yeah,
Isaiah
yeah.
45 verse 4. Shut up. I'm not done. For the sake of my
Ooh.
servant Jacob and Israel, my chosen. Isaiah 48 verse 20. Yahweh has redeemed his servant Jacob. Isaiah 49 verse 3. He said to me, you are my servant Israel, in whom I will be glorified. So we have
Yeah.
Isaiah 41,
So-
Isaiah 44, Isaiah 45, Isaiah 48, Isaiah 49. The servant is repeatedly, time and time again, referred to as Israel. And for some fucking reason, unbeknownst to me, you want me to suddenly think that the servant is not Israel in Isaiah 52.
Yeah.
Pretend
Can I
that you and
explain
I...
why?
Yeah, explain.
Can I explain why?
Here's the caveat, Scuff. Imagine you and I are two Jewish men living 100 years before the time of Jesus. Explain to me why this is about anyone other than Israel.
Because is Jacob or Israel, I apologize, are they the only servant of God in the Bible? Yes or no?
In the scroll of second Isaiah, yes.
No, in the Bible. That wasn't my question. In the Bible.
Well, it doesn't matter because we're only talking about the scroll of second Isaiah.
No, because you're like focusing in on Isaiah.
Yes, I'm
and
focusing
saying,
on.
Look.
Yes, Scuff. I'm going to tell you that I'm going to focus on the immediate. I'm going to focus on the immediate context of the passage in question. So if you open up to me a section from second Isaiah and ask me, who is the servant? I'm going to tell you, my fellow Israelite brother. The servant is repeatedly said to be Israel. Does the servant ever said to be anyone else in second Isaiah?
It's also said to be
not in second Isaiah. Not in second Isaiah.
But in Exodus,
not in second Isaiah.
But if you go to
not
Exodus,
in second Isaiah.
Okay, are you going to keep interrupting me, or
yes? As long as you keep saying something stupid, I'll keep interrupting you.
It's
Tell me why,
stupid.
Scuff, if I'm reading the book of second Isaiah, why should I believe that the servant is anyone else than Israel?
Because if you read any other book of the Bible,
don't give a shit about other books of the Bible. We're reading second Isaiah.
It doesn't suit your narrative.
Yeah, it doesn't suit your narrative. So why should I believe if I'm reading second Isaiah that the servant is anyone other than Israel? Tell me. If you can't tell me from the book of second Isaiah why I should believe the suffering servant is anyone other than Israel, then I'm just gonna fucking drop you. So why?
Yeah, run away.
No, I'm not running away. I'm kicking you out of my house for being an obstinate little prick. You're not engaging in the conversation, then I don't want to fucking talk to you. What's with all the fucking babies tonight who cannot engage in serious thought? Hi, friend. Jinx, did you mean to be in the guest panel? Jinx.
I'm assuming no.
They said no. Okay. You're all good, Jinx.
Sorry.
You're good. You're good. Well, listen, everybody. I don't have any other. Actually, let me see if I have guests over here. It says I have Prophet Muhammad. Well, this should be good. Prophet Muhammad, I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions I ask every single one of my guests. Oh, gross. Anyways.
They're a troll.
Yeah, trolls. I mean, listen, if you're going to be a troll, I mean, having a pedophile as your mascot is one way to go, I guess. All right, bring up my last guest for the night. I'm sure that this is going to be great. Laser, I've already spoken to you before. Wait, is Laser going to come up? Oh, no, they disappeared. I guess they didn't have the patience of the Holy Spirit to stick around. Anyways, thank you, everyone, for liking and sharing for the live. Make sure that you are following Micaiah if you haven't already done that. And make sure that you're following the Bible Guy YouTube channel. And if you feel so inclined, we are trying to grow this channel as much as we possibly can. We have a link tree on the bio of my main page with the link to my PayPal and my Cash App. You don't have to if you can't afford it. If you can't afford it, take care of yourself first. But if you feel inclined to, any donations would be gladly accepted. So, with that, I've been the Bible guy, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.